Chapter 218, The Clown and the Performance, 7. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. Coming. He is coming. Kikikikik. As the gap in space opens, something with a massive presence can be felt leaping towards this place from afar. Wonderfully mysterious fortress. The Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress is trying to leap inside the serving command arc. Co Huiol, too, seems to feel the familiar presence of the Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress, turning his head towards where he feels its presence. How about that? At this moment, when Co Huiol is out of his senses, if the Mad Lord arrives, Co Huiol will no longer be able to do anything, unable to employ any trickery, literally like raw meat laid out before the Mad Lord, unable to concoct any sinister plan. After all, in a few days, my entire body will turn into lightning and I will die. If Co Huiol gets stuffed by the Mad Lord and holds a wedding ceremony with the Mad Lord's puppet, it will be a rather satisfying ending for Gurion and all those sacrificed by Co Huiol. Creak. The spatial rift opens, and from afar, through the void, the silhouette of a fortress with clanking mechanical gears flying towards this place can be seen. Yet, Co Huiol does not change his expression. Rather, accustomed to the pain, he opens his mouth like me. The serving command arc may be a discarded immortal treasure, but still, an immortal treasure is an immortal treasure. After briefly looking at the wonderfully mysterious fortress, Co Huiol manages to bear the pain and smiles faintly. Then, his gaze falls away from the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Without a special seal that allows direct entry, no matter even the Mad Lord, it's not so easy to enter this place. Seems like it's coming in though. Kikikikik. As if to mock Co Huiol's words, the massive, wonderfully mysterious fortress is gradually getting closer from beyond the space. Due to the influence of the serving command arc, it appears like something is blocking the wonderfully mysterious fortress at intervals. However, the wonderfully mysterious fortress penetrates all resistance and enters this place. Kikikikik. At the sight of the wonderfully mysterious fortress overcoming the resistance of the serving command arc and gradually approaching, Co Huiol is momentarily speechless. No matter how cunning Co Huiol's schemes are, no matter how outstanding his strategies, to the Mad Lord, no common sense, logic, or scheme can prevail. Finally, kikikikik, creak, from the void, stopping just about 30 meters away inside the serving command arc, the wonderfully mysterious fortress comes to a halt. The gate of the wonderfully mysterious fortress opens. Creak. My whole body tingles. From inside, the overwhelming aura of 28 beings. I realize that each of these auras do not fall short of the presence of Gurion, who had once attempted the integration stage. Creak. Of course, even if the serving command arc is completely destroyed, Co Huiol's words about it still being an immortal treasure aren't entirely false, as the 28 puppets couldn't enter this side. However, as the 28 puppets simultaneously stretch their hands towards this area, a gap seems to appear in some invisible resistance surrounding the serving command arc. Creak. And finally, a gap large enough for a child to enter is created. Boom. Just that is enough. From the other side, the Mad Lord commanding his puppets is felt. Within the wonderfully mysterious fortress, countless bee puppets fly in through the small gap and surround us from all sides. Boom. The bee puppets cross over to where we are standing, surrounding Co Huiol and me, spinning wildly. The whirlwind created by the bee puppets prevents Co Huiol from using the blood sacrifice from the 4-axis cultivators to enhance his strength. Now what will you do? I look at Co Huiol, who is reaching towards the gathering of the blood sacrifice's energy, and smile bitterly. I can feel it. The enormous energy of the blood sacrifice, which was immense just moments ago, is gradually diminishing. Like many types of devilish arts, such large-scale sacrificial techniques have a short duration. If the objective is not achieved within that short time, it becomes utterly useless. Judging by how quickly the energy is diminishing, it's clear that the energy created by Co Huiol's blood sacrifice is dispersing. Moreover, these bee puppets are clearly designed for spatial leaping. These puppets will surely prepare to fully summon the wonderfully mysterious fortress inside the serving command arc. Once that happens, the Mad Lord will fully enter, and it will be the end for Co Huiol. Let's not let our guard down until the very end. Yet, despite having driven Co Huiol into a corner, I find myself tensing up even more. If I know Co Huiol, he surely has more tricks up his sleeve. It wouldn't be strange if another Co Huiol suddenly emerges from underground, claiming that what we've been dealing with until now was just a clone. It wouldn't be strange if he had suddenly tampered with the poison mixed by Hong Fan. I've felt disharmony ever since meeting Oh Hi Seo. It's likely one of Co Huiol's schemes. Though sealed by the 5 Elements Blood Curse banner, I am currently caught in Co Huiol's trap and must remain cautious until the very end. There are still several ways to push Co Huiol further. However, I decide to wait until Yu arrives with reinforcements. It's best to be cautious until a more certain force is available. Let's endure until we can deal a more decisive blow to him. Creak, creak, creak. Beyond the bee puppets, in the direction of the spatial rift. There, as if the bee puppets accomplish something, the wonderfully mysterious fortress manages to widen the spatial rift a bit more. Good, if it continues like this. But then it happens. Thunk. Suddenly, the wonderfully mysterious fortress jolts and begins to be pushed back slightly. What? Co Huiol opens his mouth without losing his smile. It seems the demon kings of the Earth tribe are not just sitting idly by. Wawoom. I realize that a strange attraction is coming from the direction of the spatial rift. Beyond the spatial rift, behind the wonderfully mysterious fortress. There, the integration stage grand cultivators of the Earth tribe are pulling the wonderfully mysterious fortress with an attractive force to drag the Mad Lord back outside the serving command arc. Are you relying on that? However, I just smirk. I know the wonderfully mysterious fortress best. The wonderfully mysterious fortress hasn't even begun to use its real power yet. Kagugugu. Several cylindrical thrusters appear behind the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Simultaneously, an immense spiritual power erupts from the thrusters, resisting the attractive force and sticking to the inside of the spatial rift as if it's going to pierce through back to its original position. If it was easy to block or restrain the wonderfully mysterious fortress, could the Mad Lord have freely spread his wings for 1,000 years? Despite its fortress-like appearance seeming quite slow, the true nature of the wonderfully mysterious fortress is an incredibly fast mobile fortress. The wonderfully mysterious fortress, when the Mad Lord is serious, cannot be stopped by anything. Indeed, it will be a bit difficult. However, Co Huiol's complexion doesn't change, and his heart essence remains undisturbed. What? What is he relying on? Co Huiol. Co Huiol just smiles. And I feel an indescribable unease from that smile. I cannot understand the emotions that typical creatures speak of and share. Even though it should be indescribably painful, what's going on? Has he completely accustomed to the pain already? Even when I try to analyze and mimic what is called emotions through the vibrations of the lungs, it is not enough to fully understand the behavioral patterns of living creatures. So, I have developed a hypothesis while studying the behavioral patterns of the Mad Lord. I let Co Huiol's nonsense go in one ear and out the other, focusing on whatever trick he is about to play next. Click. Co Huiol reaches into his bosom and takes out a necklace from within. It's an unassuming necklace made of thin cotton thread, but the ornament on the necklace is a beautiful gem made of green crystal. Co Huiol wraps the necklace around his hand, tying the gem to his palm. To creatures, each individual has something they call precious, akin to the purpose of life. Intelligent creatures, called sentient beings, mostly have such a thing. Surprisingly, this includes me as well. I try not to focus on Co Huiol's nonsense, but I am momentarily startled by his statement that he also has something precious to himself, and look him in the eye. To the Mad Lord, it was her. To my descendant Ran, it was familial affection. To Baek Nyong, who I took in, it was the well-being of his race. And to that heart tribe who went to save Baek Nyong, it was the safety of her disciple. Snap. Co Huiol extends his hand holding the green crystal necklace towards the spatial rift where the Mad Lord is trying to enter. I have to stop him before he does something. But I can't move. It's impossible to understand how Co Huiol can suddenly move so calmly. Has he not felt pain from the beginning? No. If that were the case, he wouldn't have performed such a foolish act of clutching his head and falling over trying to resist the curse. Then, Co Huiol is also feeling pain. No, he is experiencing more pain than I am. Then how is he so composed? Feeling revolting, I glare intensely at Co Huiol's heart essence. What I want to say is, if you know what entities desire, it's too easy to control various entities by slightly manipulating those desires. Like the musician who went a completely different way for the safety of her disciple, taking a long time to come for support, and Baek Nyong who offered his soul to me for the well-being of his species. Whirring, green light bursts from the jade that Co Huiol holds, illuminating the illusion of Baek Nyong. That is, Baek Nyong. How could? Co Huiol extracted Baek Nyong's soul and is manipulating it by infusing it into the necklace. Baek Nyong, use the mountain repelling whip. Yes, master. Simultaneously, Baek Nyong, with his soul extracted, combines his power with Co Huiol's and exhibits his beyond the path to heavens. Co Huiol says with a faint smile, the heaven and earth tribes may despise heart tribe individuals who have reached the third stage of the heart path method, but in my view, the potential of the heart tribe is limitless. Just as you, merely at the nascent soul stage, can fuse the power of heaven, earth, and heart to produce a force comparable to the 4-axis stage. The power of the heart tribe, if properly utilized, can be like this. Kagugugu. The power of Baek Nyang's beyond the path to heavens to adjust, weight, and the attractive force emanating from Co Wheel's hand combines, starting to amplify madly. That is, just like when my formless sword of treading heaven and my nascent soul are combined, showing an incredible amplification. The attraction emanating from Co Wheel's hand amplifies immensely. And then, bang! With a sound of breaking through the air, the force emanating from Co Wheel's hand suddenly turns into a repulsive force, pushing the Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress away. Kagugugu. If the cultivation of the heaven and earth tribes is additive, then the cultivation of the heart tribe is multiplicative. Already surpassing the peak of the 4-axis stage, Co Wheel possesses a power akin to that of the integration stage. With Baek Nyang's beyond the path to heavens to control, weight, added to Co Wheel's power, his attractive force reached as high as the peak of the integration stage. With the integration stage demon kings of the earth tribe pulling from behind and Co Wheel pushing from the front, the wonderfully mysterious fortress appears to be pushed out gradually and then disappears beyond the darkness of the void. It's strange that while using the heart tribe can be so useful, magical artifacts or dharma treasures utilizing the heart tribe are rarely produced. Isn't it odd? There's more than enough reasons to despise the heart tribe, whether it's reading heart essence or adding heavenly tribulations. Why haven't the inhabitants of the bright cold realm ever considered utilizing the heart tribe? Is it because they're too repulsed even to attempt such simple uses? He asked me with a slight smile. Doesn't it seem like a hatred purposely planted in the bright cold realm? Taoist Co, who embodies heaven, earth, and heart. Do you perhaps know something about this? Won't you tell me? So, it's not that you don't feel pain. I finally realize how Co Wheel is enduring this insane level of pain. Co Wheel had disassembled his own consciousness. He cut his soul into several pieces and then reattached them, not quite completely. In doing so, he had disassembled his consciousness, becoming akin to being unconscious. In short, what is speaking to me is not Co Wheel himself, but actions inputted into his body before he disassembled his soul. The moment the Mad Lord appeared, he gave up enduring the pain with his consciousness and temporarily disassembled his mind before pushing the Mad Lord away. Having successfully repelled the Mad Lord, he will probably revert his consciousness back as he had programmed. There's no need to take anything Co Wheel says seriously. Everything he says is a lie. The reason he's prattling on with seemingly profound words is just a ruse to hide the fact that he lost consciousness. Then, now is Co Wheel's most vulnerable moment. Cherik, a storage bag floats up beside me. It isn't just any storage bag. A special storage bag that can contain living beings. A type of storage bag called a peach garden painting. Sherarak. From within, a woman wearing an old, rustic robe walks out. It's Quebec. The Mad Lord retreated, but that is fine. After all, this revealed a vulnerability in Co Wheel. Miss Quebec. I convey my intentions directly to Quebec through heart language. Quebec nods and extends one hand. King. A golden seal shines from her hand. The seal of the Ark controlling envoy. One of Gurion's authorities, allowing free passage in and out of the serving command arc. Using this authority, it's possible to instantly connect a predetermined location with the inside of the serving command arc. The door in space opens. I didn't use it in front of the Mad Lord because I didn't know what would happen to Quebec. Yuwa. If it's to call Yuwa, now is the time to use it. Baek Nyang is here, come over. And then, from beyond the door in space, a crimson stream quickly crosses over to this side. King. Baek Nyang's figure is still faintly visible in Co Wheel's hand, which had just pushed away the Mad Lord, and Yuwa captures that scene as soon as she arrives. Baek Nyang, Yuwa's beloved disciple, is being used as a magic artifact with his soul extracted by Co Wheel. Yuwa says nothing. Instead, she reveals her true form, places the zither in front of her, and begins to play with a solemn expression never seen before. Geeing. The entire space seems to resonate with the sound. Yuwa's illusory play focuses solely on Co Wheel, deeply, and even more deeply pulling his disassembled consciousness. Even deeper. Despite the melody being focused solely on Co Wheel, just hearing it makes me feel an indescribable drowsiness. But both Quebec and I brace ourselves and watch Co Wheel stagger. Somehow, it feels like falling asleep now due to Yuwa would lead to a nightmare like no other. I say to Quebec, I use curses, Yuwa uses sleep. Co Wheel himself temporarily disassembled his consciousness to create this vulnerability. Quebec clenches her fists tightly. Have you made up your mind? Yes. Her heart essence has been shaking from the moment she saw Co Wheel. However, within that wavering heart essence, one resolve remains unshaken. Her heart path method, bound by many limitations. Yet, against a specific target, it displays unparalleled power. Gyubex entering heavens. To avenge Gurion's grudge. Beyond the path to heavens. Auspicious exchange of emotional expression. A symbol of the promise shared between Xiao Huiol and her. Designed solely to end Xiao Huiol. Based on the content of the vast, cold, beautiful agreement created for the mutual death of the parties involved, Gyubex Beyond the Path to Heavens now activates. Clink, clink, clink. Chains of the same brown color as Gyubex's robe flows from her hand. Simultaneously, the brown chains naturally permeate Xiao Huiol's chest, entwining around his heart, major organs, and various parts of his demon core. I see. I realize where the chains emitted from Gyubex's hand are connected. Chains connected to Gyubex's heart. These chains are likewise connected to Xiao Huiol's heart, major organs, and demon core. Literally, her Beyond the Path to Heavens is for dying together with Xiao Huiol. Implementing the content of the vast cold oath created for their mutual demise is precisely Gyubex Beyond the Path to Heavens, the symbol of their shared promise. Clink, clink, clink. I summon countless General Xiao from the storage bag, making them open their mouths behind me. At any moment, I am ready to sacrifice my body, exploding curses and the formless sword in a suicidal attack. Even if Gyubex fails to kill Xiao Huiol, my explosion will end him. Even if we can't finish Xiao Huiol, we can at least injure him enough to incapacitate him for a while, giving the Mad Lord enough time to return. It's been a life full of ups and downs. I went under Xiao Huiol to uncover his true nature. Though I gained much from observing him from beneath, I couldn't learn everything, and instead, I encountered many explosive situations like bombs. Really, do I have any regrets? I contemplate whether I have any regrets in this life as I am about to deliver the final blow. I will know when I see the panorama of my life flash before me at that moment. Never let your guard down until the very end. Xiao Huiol is Xiao Huiol. Seeing his heart essence, it's clear he is indeed Xiao Huiol himself, unpredictable in when and where he might plot something. Focus all your attention on observing Xiao Huiol, right up to the very end. Never let your guard down. Pook. Huh. Boom. Before Gyubex can activate the auspicious exchange of emotional expression, a crimson hand pierces through Gyubex's back and out her heart. Creak. The chains that emerged from Gyubex, spinning wildly with yin and yang, disperse on their own. And then, the crimson hand shoots towards me. Jong. I am struck down by the formidable force carried by the crimson hand, collapsing to the ground. Wallach. My body, already more than 80% transformed into lightning, feels like it will disperse at any moment. From the remaining 20% of my flesh, red liquid trickles out, spreading around. With a bewildered look, I gaze at the face of the one who had ambushed Gyubex and me. Yuan. The immense power Xiao Huiol had gained from performing a blood sacrifice with all the 4-axis stage cultivators. I thought it had all dissipated. It hadn't. It was all absorbed by Yuan. And then, as Yuan speaks, I feel a sense of despair. It's strange. You were hit by the lustrous glazed peacock's light. How can you recognize me? From Yuan's mouth comes a very familiar voice. It's none other than Oh Haiseo's voice. Really, you're too strange, Xiao Unhyun. A misty haze protects you. Because of that haze, I can only read superficial things about you. TSS. I finally realized the identity of the strange disharmony I feel in my mind. My memories were distorted by the light of the lustrous glazed peacock, but the canvas of myriad forms and connections that I was using unconsciously showed me the truth. I wasn't hit by the lustrous glazed peacock's light on my way back after meeting Oh Haeseo. I was ambushed by the lustrous glazed peacock's light on my way to meet Oh Haeseo. The conversations I had with her, my reading of her heart essence, the sequence of events when I was hit by the light. Everything had been mixed up and distorted by the first light of the lustrous glazed peacock she had cast on me. Stagger. Yuwa, too, staggers under the power of Oh Haeseo's white light emanating from Yuanyu's body, and her playing comes to a stop. Simultaneously, Xiao Huiol, having reassembled his disassembled consciousness, stands up from his place. Oh Haeseo, in Yuanyu's body, walks slowly towards Xiao Huiol, who greets her with a warm smile. Very familiarly, just as he often did to me, Xiao Huiol pats Yuanyu's shoulder. Pat. Yuan thought he had learned the method of creating a blood body from ancient ruins and considered it his unique technique. But it was actually me, Daoist Xiao, who initially guided Yuan Li to the ancient ruins to learn the method of creating the blood body. Pat. If you had obediently mastered the summoning wind, sacred blood transformation, which contains the techniques of the Bloodine realm, as I advised, you would have realized what I did to the blood body. It's a pity, really. Pat. Oh Haeseo, avoiding Xiao Huiol's patting hand, says, Someone who knows the exact method to activate the blood body can access the memories stored in the blood body by touching it. The activation method involves elevating the blood body's vitality in extreme environments, right? Oh dear, Miss Hyasio. It's troublesome if you reveal such a huge secret carelessly. Well, doesn't it matter? After all, Seo Eunhyun is going to die. From my perspective, it's more important whether shaking Seo Eunhyun's emotions can stir those misty things. Certainly, that was it. For some reason, Seo Huiol frequently patted my shoulder in this life. And the vast majority of those times were when I was wearing the blood body skin armor. Activating the blood body in extreme environments is part of the technique. He had been patting my shoulder in a friendly manner since our first meeting. I thought it was just to simulate camaraderie. That wasn't it. Seo Huiol was trying to find out why a stranger like me who ascended was wearing Yuan Li's blood body from the beginning. From the beginning, Seo Huiol wanted to know why someone he met for the first time and ascended was wearing Yuan Li's blood body. Realizing how often Seo Huiol casually tapped my shoulder, I feel a sense of emptiness. I was merely a clown dancing before you. I thought I had been monitoring Seo Huiol through the Mad Lord circuits, but it turns out I was the one being constantly monitored through the blood body. Literally, it was just a play put on by a clown. Yes, a clown's performance. And thus, the ludicrous performance of the clown comes to an end. Yes, I lost. With a hollow laugh, I look at Seo Huiol and Yuan Yu, who are looking back at me. Since it's come to this, I clasp my hands together, interlocking my fingers, and close my eyes. And then, I chant, Return to thee. Chapter 219, After the Performance, 1. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. The moment I utter, Return to thee, is precisely when it happens. Before any reaction can occur, Seo Huiol charges at me with a speed too fast for the eyes to follow. Crunch. Seo Huiol strikes me down, his foot stomping on my chest. GHH. Ugh. My words do not come out. No, what should I say? It feels as if my will to speak, including my words, are suddenly suppressed. What is this? The feeling as if Seo Huiol had rushed in and isolated me from the entire world. However, I do not panic. Instead, I look at Seo Huiol and smirk. It's the first time. The first time Seo Huiol's heart essence has been so tumultuously disturbed. Seo Huiol is still smiling with a frozen expression, but his heart essence is storming in a way I had never seen before. My words are sealed, but I convey my message to Seo Huiol with my lips so he can clearly see. Are even you afraid of true immortals? Haha. Wouldn't it be disrespectful to bother someone who is already suffering from exile in a far-off dimension by calling them to this world? Exiled. It seems like Seo Huiol knows something about the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner. To think an entity exiled in a distant dimension showed that level of power. The more I know, the more it seems that true immortals always easily surpass the limits and boundaries I had in mind. Wawoom. I check the state of my body. Despite my chest already being transformed into lightning, Seo Huiol is stepping on it. Glancing around, I notice the characters for good and virtue floating up in my lower and middle dantians, respectively. I look at my head. Above my upper dantian, the character for distant appeared, and I smile bitterly. What have you done to me? Thanks to Taoist Seo needlessly running his mouth, I had to consume one of my axes to seal you. Seal? Literally, it feels as though my entire body is gradually creaking, increasingly isolating me from the world. Thanks to you, I need to go to the Bloodine realm to replenish the fourth axis I had to use. My tasks have become quite bothersome because of this. Bothersome? Of course, by his expression, it seems like he is just teasing me. However, Seo Huiol's heart essence has indeed become a bit complicated. It appears that the fact he has to go to the Bloodine realm is irritating Seo Huiol. Why? Does Seo Huiol have some connection to the Bloodine realm? Somehow, Seo Huiol's demeanor suggests he is reluctant to visit the Bloodine realm. If you didn't want to go to the Bloodine realm, couldn't you have used another axis? According to Seo Huiol's previous explanation, Nether Ghost is for longevity, Purple Gold is for wealth, Ancient Force for health, and True Devils for love of virtue. Since the Bloodine realm branched off from the True Devil realm, it's no different. It makes sense for him, who sealed with the axis of love of virtue, to replenish his axis there. But if he dislikes going to the Bloodine realm, couldn't he have just used another axis to seal me? When I think so, are you teasing me, or do you genuinely not know? What? Did I say something wrong? As I'm puzzled. The Purple Gold realm is too far away, taking 1,000 years just to travel back and forth, which would be a waste of time. And the Ancient Force realm requires certain conditions to enter, making it difficult to replenish the spin axis, wouldn't you say? Then why not go to the Nether Ghost realm? When I ask, Seo Huiol smiles. I frowned, observing Seo Huiol's heart essence. Did I say something wrong? Realizing my gaffe in speech through observing Seo Huiol's heart essence, I noticed the tension boiling within him has significantly calmed down after my recent response. It's strange. You are too strange. Co Huiol bends down to my level, bringing his face close to mine as if he can't comprehend. Continuing from what I said earlier, an entity can be controlled if you know its precious thing, its purpose. But what are you exactly? I've been monitoring your movements through Yuan Li's blood body for over 100 years, but I can't figure out your purpose. What is your precious thing? Sometimes it seems like you have something precious, but just now, you seemed ready to shatter the board as if nothing was precious to you. Co Huiol's bright blue pupils are stretched wide, observing me, trying to understand what kind of being I am. Without a known purpose, without anything precious, you should be a power-lost, fallen being. Yet strangely, you're unaware of the obvious dangers of the nether ghost realm, not a decrepit being. Are you perhaps the leftover of some noble existence? Perhaps a leftover born with only a fraction of memories attached, not receiving the entirety. Co Huiol narrows his eyes and smiles. Except for the era of the heretic Yang Sujin, there's no information about the decline of true immortals within the past 120,000 years. So with high probability, you're a noble being that fell during Yang Sujin's time. After seeing Daoist attempt to summon that being, I inferred the situation before and after. Had you directly faced that being with the body of a mortal, you would have surely surrendered to them in a matter of moments. However, the fact that Daoist has endured from the disappearance of Heavenly Human Island until now indicates that that being has shown you favor. My guess is, perhaps you directly assisted the essence of the great heavenly punishment in being found by her master? There could be no other action worthy of their favor. Co Huiol's speculation continues. And the method that likely aided the essence of the great heavenly punishment was most likely by knowing her true name and calling it out. By doing so, you would have been well aware of what would happen to the descendants of Yang Sujin, who that entity resented. With a high probability, you are one of the true immortals who was killed by Yang Sujin and harbored resentment towards him. There are many candidates since Yang Sujin had destroyed not just one or two entities. However, there aren't many who harbored enough grudge against Yang Sujin to devastate even his descendants. If we exclude those who would never borrow that being's power, the list of candidates narrows down to less than 10 fingers. Seemingly getting closer to my identity, Co Huiol asks with a smirk. Given how things stand, revealing your identity might not be a bad choice. Doesn't Daoist Co have an inkling of who I might be? I hesitate for a moment, not knowing what to say, and then coldly laugh. Why would there be a need to reveal that between us? Between us? What do you mean? But Co Huiol pulls his face away from me as if he doesn't understand. Haven't we been watching, doubting, and preparing to backstab each other for decades? Ah, that. Co Huiol chuckles upon reading my lips. It was all just a joke, wasn't it? For a moment, I feel dazed by Co Huiol's response. Haha, why are you like this, Daoist Co? If you were among the entities I suspect, weren't we the beings who held the universe in our palms, traversing dimensions and unraveling countless conspiracies and strategies on the scale of fate and history? Why fuss over a few incidents in this Saha world/mundane world? To us, it's merely a joke, isn't it? A joke. Hearing Co Huiol's words make my mind tremble. All of this, just a joke. It's absurd. But I suppress my tumultuous heart essence and look at Co Huiol. Don't be swayed. It's clear. There's another lie mixed in there. And Co Huiol is observing me, throwing information mixed with lies. Don't get entangled with Co Huiol. I need to buy time. In a little while, the Mad Lord will completely break through to the 7th floor, the formal entrance to the serving command arc. As long as Co Huiol doesn't completely seal me and continues to converse with me until then, there's hope. Don't be swayed by Co Huiol's words. Act as if I know more and extract more information from him. If everything's a joke, wouldn't venturing into the nether ghost realm for a bit of adventure be fine, even if it's a bit dangerous? You seem to dislike going to the Bloodine realm. Do you really not know anything about the nether ghost realm? As you know, the absolute majority of entering Nirvana stage true persons desire to enter the true immortal realm by any means necessary, hence the nether ghost realm is swarming with those at the entering Nirvana stage, their eyes red and observing. Beings at the entering Nirvana stage are far too mature to be mere objects of jest. You can guess why they are observing the nether ghost realm, can't you? The nether ghost realm is related to a shortcut into the true immortal realm. This can also be a lie, but somehow, the words just uttered by Co Huiol feel true. I've learned that the nether ghost realm is a place teeming with entering Nirvana cultivators, red-eyed and observing. If they're merely observing rather than directly entering, it's probably because of the promise with the Black Dragon King. Black Dragon King, nether ghost realm, Bloodine realm, entering Nirvana stage, astral realm, Co Huiol. How is everything related? How can I compile this information to continue the conversation with Co Huiol? As I ponder. So, I'll ask again, Daoist Co. Co Huiol looks into my eyes with a slight smile. It was just a joke among us. Still, will you not reveal your identity? And then, it happens. A joke. Squirm, squirm. Quebec, who had collapsed earlier. Her heart had been pierced, yet she starts to twitch and slowly begins to rise. Oh, Co Huiol watches her with an intrigued look. The hole where her heart had been pierced has already stopped bleeding. I gasp, knowing how Quebec is moving. She is forcibly circulating qi throughout her body to stand up. She is temporarily doing the work of the heart by circulating energy herself. But in such a state, Quebec is as good as dead. Despite her efforts to prevent vitality from escaping, her face is rapidly paling. She's already on the brink of death, so doing anything more is pointless. Yet still, with a trembling voice, squeezing air from her lungs, Quebec speaks. A joke, was it? Say it again, Co Huiol. To you, was the time with Gurion merely a joke? Quebec, with a hole in her chest, places her trembling hand over it and glares at Co Huiol. Gurion, I loved you truly. But to you, was I merely a joke? Quebec cries out. Answer me, Co Huiol. Was all of this just for your amusement? And Co Huiol clicks his tongue. You're not Senior Gu. At his cold attitude, Quebec clenches her teeth. Even if you somehow manage to come this far by mastering the heart path method as a remnant, that's all. You're just a leftover of Senior Gu, not the person herself. Don't be mistaken. Gurion is dead, and your actions are utterly meaningless. I am no. Quebec, with tears streaming down her face, collapses to the ground. Yes, Gurion truly liked you, Co Huiol. What do you want me to do about it? Perhaps the words I once said to Senior Gu haven't been passed down to you? Emotions are just the amount of air that goes into the lungs, and nothing more. No. Swish. Auspicious exchange of emotional expression activates once more. Chains fly towards Co Huiol. But with a flick of his hand, Co Huiol easily deflects the chains of auspicious exchange of emotional expression. Quebec launches the chains at Co Huiol several more times with dragon form soaring claw, but Co Huiol deflects them as if they are nothing. What a bother. Miss Hyesio, could you take care of this leftover for me? I don't want to. It's fun. Oh Hyesio, finding the situation amusing, sits to one side in Yuan Yu's body, propping her chin up. Well, if Miss Hyesio finds it bothersome, there's nothing I can do. Step. Co Huiol steps off my chest. But still, perhaps due to the characters of love of virtue floating above my upper, middle, and lower dantians, I can't move a finger, let alone speak. Clang, clang. The chains of auspicious exchange of emotional expression target Co Huiol multiple times, but Co Huiol, with his uniquely unpleasant smile, continues deflecting them, as if the brief entanglement with the chains during his slumber was merely a momentary inconvenience. Quebec's heart is hopelessly unreachable to Co Huiol. Whoosh. Co Huiol deflects the chains one last time. Suddenly, Co Huiol is right in front of Quebec. Have you vented a little? You. Snap. Co Huiol flicks his finger in front of Quebec. Blood spurts from her 7 orifices, and she collapses right there. Co Huiol completely disrupted the forcibly circulating heaven and earth spiritual energy within Quebec. It's miraculous her body didn't explode into a handful of flesh from the shock. Co Huiol glances down at Quebec for a moment, then grabs her by the hair and drags her towards us. With such a resentful body, offering her as a blood sacrifice to the Blood-Een realm will immediately strengthen fellow Taoist Seal. Now, Taoist Seal, although there was a slight delay, shall we continue where we left off? What are you doing? Crack, creak. No matter what, words won't come out. However, moving my body seems somewhat possible when I muster all my strength. I concentrate the power of the formless sword into one arm, slowly lifting it. Despite the characters of love of virtue pressing down on me even more fiercely, I extend my hand without care. Towards Quebec. On the verge of death, yet you still have some business with this leftover. Perhaps you wish to mate before being sealed. Shut up. I don't understand. What do you want with this leftover of this Saha world? Have you grown too attached to your toy? No. I concentrate all my focus on the arm extending towards Quebec. The formless sword, at the level of treading heavens, tears through the characters from love of virtue and slowly reaches Quebec. It's not a joke. Quebec is someone I can only meet in this life. Even if I meet her in the next life, she will never be the same Quebec as now. Born out of Gurion's obsession and resentment, if not with the same emotions and memories as Gurion, I will never see the same Quebec again. But I'm not sad. After all, to me, every existence in this world is someone I can only meet once in that lifetime, and Quebec is no different. Yes, these are connections I can only form in this lifetime. How can the memories built with those unique connections be just a joke? Finally, I succeed in holding Quebec's hand. It's a hand hardened with calluses from practicing the dragon form soaring claw. A hand trained to meet Co Huiol, and one that practiced martial arts with me. At the same time, it's also the hand of a comrade who achieved nothing. It wasn't a joke, you say? Watching my lip movements, Seo Huiol observes us for a moment before releasing Gyubek's hair. She collapses powerlessly to the ground. But I feel Seo Huiol's actions are somewhat strange. What? Did I see something wrong just now? For a moment, I thought I saw a very faint gleam in Seo Huiol's heart essence. It passed so quickly I'm not sure if it was real. It must have been a mistake. I turn my attention away from what would be unlikely for Seo Huiol and hold Gyubek's hand firmly. Gyubek isn't dead yet. Though she will probably die soon, her hand is trembling weakly. Through that trembling hand, I feel her emotions. Anger and resentment, longing and sorrow, and love. Gurion loved Seo Huiol. And Gyubek, inheriting Gurion's memories, also inherited the memories of loving Seo Huiol so dearly. Even though filled with Gurion's resentment, Gyubek also holds love for Seo Huiol. Even if the object of her love is a detestable being, her love itself shines too brightly for some, like Seo Huiol. I gaze at her heart essence, capturing that light within my own heart. I will remember your heart, this unique bond in this life. I will bury it deep within my heart and remember this feeling. Thus, Gyubek's last appearance is added to the canvas of myriad forms and connections. I thought that would be her last appearance. Sararak. Before a pink thread extended from my hand. Sararak. Somehow, a fragrant floral scent spreads around. At the same time, roots sprout from the thread that extended from my body. The thread splits into several branches, spreading out in all directions. The strands that seem to spread out everywhere soon gather together, intertwining to form a shape. It's the figure of Kim Yun. Wawum. Inside the deepest part of the burrow dug by Hong Fan, there lies a figure, still unconscious. It's Kim Yun, who has not regained consciousness for days. She has been lying there with a blank look in her eyes for several days and nights. Kim Yun is dreaming. It's the scene where she went on a business trip with the person she likes and saw the quince flowers blooming profusely in an orchard. Then, something resounded deep within her dream. I will remember your heart. It's the voice of Seo Eun-hyun, to whom Kim Yun had attached her consciousness. Beyond Seo Eun-hyun's voice, the heart that Seo Eun-hyun wants to remember is conveyed to her through the consciousness attached to Seo Eun-hyun. It's the heart of someone who loves another. The heart of Gurion, who had devoted everything to Seo Huiol. Although the ending was catastrophic, the heart of Gurion throughout the process shone so brightly. And that light was transmitted to Kim Yun through Seo Eun-hyun. Simultaneously, as that light reached Kim Yun, her wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, combined with Kim Yun's talent and her fate, tremendously amplified. As a result, Kim Yun, while asleep, unknowingly awakened her true abilities through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. TSSDSDSSDSSDS. The pink silhouette of Kim Yun overlaps with my hand, which is holding Gyubek's. Our hands, mine, Gyubek's, and Kim Yun's, are layered together. Seo Huiol, surprised by the unexpected situation, steps back a few paces, and Oh Hyeseo waves at Kim Yun with a delighted face. Oh my, it's Yun, isn't it? Then, Oh Hyeseo extends her hand towards Kim Yun with a joyful expression. Yuna, you're being a nuisance. I'll come back and dote on you like old times, so could you disappear for a while? TSSDSDSSDS. Around Kim Yun, Yin and Yang swirl, as if to make her figure blur momentarily. But only momentarily. The pink silhouette of Kim Yun places her hand over the hole in Gyubek's chest. At the same time, golden light begins to burst from inside Gyubek's hollow chest. Seeing this, Seo Huiol shouts at Oh Hyeseo. Miss Hyeseo, quickly stop that. Wawum. A blue light flashes, and Seo Huiol tries to fly away in his true form. However, the golden light is faster. The golden light turns into a thin thread and flies towards Seo Huiol, naturally connecting to his chest. I understand what this golden light thread means. This is the vast cold oath. At the same time, Gyubek, whose chest is filled with golden light, flutters her eyes open. After locking eyes with Kim Yun's silhouette for a moment, she coughs up blood and stands up. Aya. Then, Oh Hyeseo, who had been quickly reading through the threads of the vast cold oath, suddenly screams. Despite being in Yuan Yu's body, she clutches her burst eyes, crying tears of blood, as if she had seen something that should not be seen. What is that? What is that? What is that? Terror-stricken, Oh Hyeseo soon severs her connection with Yuan Yu's body and disappears into somewhere. Yuan Yu's body, having lost its controller, collapses right there. Gyubek, clutching her chest, extends her hand towards Seo Huiol, who is fleeing into the distance. Wawum. Her intent overflows in all directions. Beyond the path to heavens. Auspicious exchange of emotional expression. Once again, Gyubek's Beyond the Path to Heavens is activated. Once more, chains emerge from Gyubek's chest. Not brown chains. Golden chains pursue Seo Huiol with the speed of light, connecting to him without giving him a chance to react. Kalalak. Connected to Seo Huiol, the golden chains quickly shorten, pulling the fleeing Seo Huiol back to this place. Seo Huiol transforms back into human form as he is being pulled back and lands here. Seo Huiol looks at Gyubek, then at Kim Yun. What are you? His face is still smiling. But Seo Huiol's voice is colder than ever. A technique that only Vast Cold can initiate, the Vast Cold Oath. Why can you preside over the Vast Cold Oath? Who are you? His smile is colder than ever, and Seo Huiol's heart essence is more turbulent than ever before. Somewhere within the True Dragon Alliance, in the residence of the Black Dragon King. Inside, a massive dragon stirs. The Black Dragon raises its head to the sky, opening its mouth in disbelief. Vast Cold. How could? Outside the Serving Command Arc. Wonderfully mysterious fortress. At the heart of the fortress, the Mad Lord suddenly grabs his head and comes down from her knees. The Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon is resonating strongly with something. And, clutching his chest, the Mad Lord sheds tears. Not the noisy, bawling tears he had always shed. The silent tears flowing from the Mad Lord contain his sincerity. My disciple is doing something. Feeling Kim Yun's presence through the resonance of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, the Mad Lord looks towards the Serving Command Arc. Something is happening there. I must go. I might witness something similar to, no? Something far more tremendous than Yun's play. Clutching his chest, the Mad Lord solemnly unfolds the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon without wiping his tears. Wawoom. The Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon brightly ignites. It's time to end this clumsy puppet show. I need to see what my disciple is trying to do. Judging by this resonance from the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, what my disciple is attempting must be the true next step that the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon must achieve. Boom. Briefly regaining his senses, the Mad Lord controls the wonderfully mysterious fortress, operating it more efficiently and logically. And the puppet legion of the wonderfully mysterious fortress, which had been bombarding indiscriminately with sheer numbers, begins to reorganize rapidly. This child is not what's important, right, Seo Huiol? Gyubek locks eyes with Kim Yun's silhouette for a moment, then again with Seo Huiol. It's like a miracle. No, it is a miracle. A miracle has occurred, and the Vast Cold Oath has been activated. Seo Huiol. Gyubek points at her chest, brimming with golden light, with a clear smile. My heart is gone, and I am about to die. And since the Vast Cold Oath was activated by a miracle, you will also die. You probably know better. The Vast Cold Oath is a technique related to fate. Changing bodies or replenishing life force is useless. Resurrection is impossible. It means the heavens have decided to end our fate. But, as you know, Seo Huiol, this isn't the Vast Cold Oath agreed upon by both of us. It's a one-sided Vast Cold Oath that Gurion imposed on you. Since a witness is present here, you have the right to undo the Vast Cold Oath, Seo Huiol. Gyubek slowly spreads her arms towards Seo Huiol. Just as Gurion transmitted her love to you by imposing the Vast Cold Oath, undoing it must also be done in reverse. Seo Huiol, the method to undo it is simple. At her following words, I can't help but snicker. Kiss me sincerely. Unless you return more than what Gurion gave to you, the Vast Cold Oath will not be undone. In many fairy tales featuring lovers, the ending usually involves breaking a curse with a kiss and living happily ever after. Similarly, Seo Huiol, who is cursed, has to give a sincere kiss of love to Gyubek in order to break the curse. Now, Seo Huiol, show me your sincerity. Gyubek, who informs Seo Huiol that only sincerity can undo the curse, wears a cruel yet beautiful smile. And for the first time, Seo Huiol's smile disappears from his lips. This long performance has come to an end. Only Seo Huiol, dragged down below the stage, remains. Chapter 220, after the performance, 2. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. Seo Huiol stares at Gyubek with an expressionless face. His demeanor seems as if he is merely observing Gyubek in front of him. Sincerity. I believe Elder John Hyang said something similar at the end. You're alike in that regard. Step. Seo Huiol approaches Gyubek. Do you really want to see my sincerity? Of course. You'll regret it. With an expressionless and empty face, Seo Huiol flicks his finger. Snap. As he flicks his finger, the characters of love of virtue that were pressing on my body return to Seo Huiol. In other words, Seo Huiol is more urgently concerned about the Vast Cold Oath than me currently being connected to the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner. Crackle. Watching my body rapidly turn into lightning, I witnessed the conclusion between Seo Huiol and Gyubek. Wawoom. Around Seo Huiol, for axes rise in all four directions. Longevity, wealth, health, love of virtue. The 4 axes form 4 pagodas around Seo Huiol. Huh. The appearance, similar to the 4 protective pagoda Dharma treasures protecting the Yuan Li, makes me frown. Kagugugu. And just as the protective pagodas of Yuan Li spread a barrier to protect the Yuan Li, Seo Huiol's 4 axes connect to each other, forming a canopy. Curse of Tainted Soul, Deadly Gaze. Wawoom. Above Seo Huiol and Gubek, a blood-red eyeball emerges, creating a ceiling above the 4 axes. The completed canopy covers Seo Huiol and Gubek in the blink of an eye. Wawoom. At the same time, I feel a sinister, revolting, and indescribably nauseating sensation from within. That is, as if it's a representation of Seo Huiol's heart essence inside. Kim Yun's figure remains calm, still reaching out her hand inside, and the vast cold oath is activated without any problems. However, I can't shake off a foreboding feeling. In a way, this is one of Seo Huiol's hidden cards. This is one of the first tricks Seo Huiol reveals after removing the smile from his face. What will happen? Wawoom. That's when I feel a strange sensation from the canvas of myriad forms and connections. Why is there something else? But while contemplating the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I realize something. That's the curse used by Seo Huiol, Tainted Soul, Deadly Gaze. I realize that it, for some reason, greatly resembles the canvas of myriad forms and connections. So it is. The misty thing Oh Hyesio saw when she was reading me was likely the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The only thing that she could describe as misty when looking at me was that. Then, the reason she tried to shake my canvas of myriad forms and connections might have been to test if she could find a way to target Seo Huiol, assuming Seo Huiol had learned a similar method to mine. If Oh Hyesio couldn't completely read me using the canvas of myriad forms and connections, Seo Huiol couldn't completely read me either. Crackle. I managed to hold myself together, preventing my body from fully transforming and vaporizing into lightning. Wawoom. The power contained in Black Dragon's true blood pulls me from the opposite direction from the power attempting to return me to the owner of the heavenly lightning banner. Crackle. It is only at the brink of death that I understand. The power of the Black Dragon's true blood is not a blessing or a powerful force. It is a calamity. Gulp. The power of the Black Dragon is trying to engulf me. It isn't doing something kind like preventing me from turning into lightning and returning. It is merely pulling me because it doesn't want to lose its prey. If I hadn't faced the situation of dissolving into lightning by directly confronting the owner of the heavenly lightning banner, I might have been slowly consumed by the Black Dragon's true blood. However, I managed to maintain my form, balancing the forces of true immortal level beings pulling me from both sides. Creak. My body, transforming into lightning, takes on a half-human, half-dragon form and emits black lightning. If I lose balance even slightly, the power of the Black Dragon or the lightning will immediately devour me. Wriggle. I take out the white-red wine from my storage bag and drink it. The colorless glass swords become directly connected to me. The power of the Black Dragon. Wriggle. Through the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I discover the sticky, wriggling power of tying. Gulp. Cold sweat runs down my face. I can feel it. Even if I don't know about the curse of becoming lightning, the power of the Black Dragon's true blood will continue into the next life. Because I can feel all too clearly through the canvas of myriad forms and connections that the power of the Black Dragon is eroding my history. It's more dangerous than becoming lightning. I've decided, since the end of my life is near, at the very last moment, I must purify my whole body with the power of the owner of the heavenly lightning banner, shaking off the power of the Black Dragon. To me, a regressor who has built a long history, the power of the Black Dragon is an even greater calamity. Huwoom. Maintaining a balance between the power of lightning and the Black Dragon, I grab one of the 3,000 colorless glass swords floating around me. Thanks to being refined in the golden core for nearly 100 years, each of the colorless glass swords have become as hard and sharp as a bronze sword or an iron sword sold in a village forge. Colorless glass sword, combine. Wawoom. 3,000 colorless glass swords overlap 10 at a time. 300 colorless glass swords each rise from the level of inferior to a fairly good iron sword. The colorless glass swords overlap again, 10 at a time. 30 colorless glass swords reach the level of iron swords made with the highest refining techniques. The colorless glass swords overlap once more, and 3 colorless glass swords each become as hard and sharp as a famous sword. And the last 3 colorless glass swords combine again. SSSSSD. When the 3 famous swords combine, a treasure sword is born. The final stage of the colorless glass sword. All heavens. When spiritual power is injected into the treasure sword level colorless glass sword, 3,000 circuits activate, and the power begins to amplify due to the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The power is sufficient. All that remains is to help Gubek and witness Seo Huiol's end. I reinforce the colorless glass sword once again by overlaying it with the formless sword. Jom. The colorless glass sword swings, shaking Seo Huiol's canopy. However, there isn't even a scratch on the barrier. Continue. Again and again. Kun, kun, kun. I use foolish old man moves mountains to gradually amplify the destructive power. My power, mixed with the three forces of heaven, earth, and heart, gradually increases, reaching the level of the four-axis stage. Jom, jom, jom. With each collision, the resonance grows louder. Then at some point, Yuhua, who was hit by the light of the lustrous glazed peacock by Oh Hai Seo, rises. She doesn't ask any details. Instead, as she watches me strike Seo Huiol's canopy, she begins to play without saying a word, perhaps understanding the situation. Kururum. Heavenly thunder. A sound akin to heavenly tribulation resounds around her, striking Seo Huiol's canopy multiple times. Our combined attack hits Seo Huiol's canopy several times. But Seo Huiol's canopy, despite its tremors growing, shows no signs of cracking. Kim Yun's figure, whether it has consciousness or not, merely presides over the vast cold oath. I keep striking Seo Huiol's canopy, assessing the survival of Gubek and Seo Huiol through Kim Yun's figure. How long has it been? Kugugugugu. From afar, a familiar fortress flies in. It isn't a spatial leap. It officially broke through the top entrance of the serving command arc and entered. The Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress has finally arrived here. Indeed, what will the Mad Lord do upon seeing us? He might immediately capture me to use as puppet material and capture Seo Huiol separately. However, unexpectedly, the wonderfully mysterious fortress doesn't attack me right away. Instead, a solemn voice of an old man comes from inside. Seo Huiol's four-axis canopy, huh? Instead of the five elements, he built the axis on something else. It's not a typical four-axis. It's solid enough to be believed as a unique domain of the integration stage. Moreover, something inside is strengthening the gravitational pull, making the solidity of that canopy no different from the very peak of the integration stage. I'm startled to hear the Mad Lord's voice. That voice is, the Mad Lord is in his right mind. For some reason, the Mad Lord is clear-headed. Senior Zhou Yun, please lend us your strength to capture Seo Huiol. That sounds good. However, I came here to see my disciple. Creak. The gates of the wonderfully mysterious fortress opens, and the Mad Lord appears with his hands clasped behind his back along with her. The Mad Lord squints his eyes upon seeing Kim Yun's figure. Not the main body. Only an avatar is here. And manipulating laws with consciousness? What exactly is happening here? The Mad Lord speaks, licking his lips. Why didn't you bring Yun's main body here? I hid Yun's main body, fearing that Senior Zhou Yun might take her away once you arrived. Ha ha ha, that's good. A wise decision. The Mad Lord laughs heartily and nods his head. Well, that aside, Yun is currently manipulating laws with her consciousness, managing something, or should I say, proceeding with something? What is she doing right now? Explain the situation to me. I briefly explained to the Mad Lord about Gubek, Seo Huiol, the vast cold oath, and Kim Yun. I see. Gurion, was it? Haha, she might have ended up like me if she were alive. After hearing about Gurion and Gubek, the Mad Lord briefly comments on Gurion. As I look at the Mad Lord with a puzzled expression, he snaps irritably. The reason she ended up like this is because Seo Huiol set up the stage, so it's no different from me losing a lover to Seo Huiol. Anyway, today seems to be the perfect day for revenge. Seo Huiol's downfall by someone who loves him. The Mad Lord raises his hand with a bitter smile. Wawoom. 27 integration stage level puppets. And the wonderfully mysterious fortress itself along with her. A total of 29 integration stage puppets aim their muzzles at Seo Huiol's canopy all at once. Fire. As the Mad Lord lowers his hand, beams capable of burning the heavens and earth strike Seo Huiol's canopy. Integration stage's peak level defense? It's futile against the salvo from around 30 integration stage puppets. Seo Huiol's canopy is instantly turned into rags. However, true to the Mad Lord's analysis as a peak level canopy of the integration stage, it turns into rags without being punctured. But the Mad Lord calmly raises his hand once more and slams it down. Second strike. Geo-ing. A tremendous hole is blasted in the floor of the serving command arc everywhere except where Seo Huiol's canopy is located. Third strike. Flash. The floor of the fourth layer of the serving command arc collapses, creating a hole between the third and fourth floors. And finally, a large hole is blasted through Seo Huiol's canopy. The Mad Lord, with his hands clasped behind his back, says, I've made a hole for you, so pulling Seo Huiol out should be something you can handle. It seems like he is assigning a task to me and Yuhua, but I realize the Mad Lord is giving us an opportunity for revenge. I express my gratitude. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Quiet, go now? The wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon is resonating, so my mind is clear for now, but who knows when I'll go mad again. There's no time. Yes. We enter inside the canopy. Wawoom. From the outside, it appears as a small canopy, but upon entering, a vast space unfolds. Reaching the 4-axis stage and stacking more than 3 axes gives one a space that becomes the foundation for the unique domain obtained during the integration stage. Within that space, the abilities of an integration stage cultivator becomes tremendously powerful, and they can do things they couldn't do before. Womb. Far away, I feel the energy of the vast cold oath pulling me in. I am a witness to the vast cold oath of Seo Huiol and Gurion. I can feel the energy of the vast cold oath. The inside of the canopy is a space filled with a repugnant smell and darkness. Though we thought we had made a large hole in the canopy from the outside, swimming through the domain of darkness, the hole through which we entered appears smaller from this far back. It's cold. I feel that this space somehow resembles Seo Huiol's heart essence itself. Cold, filthy, sticky, repulsive, dark. Merely being here feels like my mind is being contaminated. If the heart essence of Yuan Li, who had devoured countless people, is a dung field, then Seo Huiol's heart essence is like the site of a nuclear power plant explosion. Staying here for too long might make one go mad, tainted by Seo Huiol's darkness. Far away, a faint golden light is visible. Quebec. It's Quebec. Quebec stands in the middle of the darkness, emitting golden rays from her chest. Miss Quebec, are you all right? I fly towards her with Yuan, shouting. But Quebec does not respond. I try to read Quebec's heart essence and sigh deeply. She had received a significant shock. What had she seen in this darkness? Miss Quebec. And then, at that moment, step. Seo Huiol emerges from the darkness. With an expressionless face, Seo Huiol looks at me and speaks. You brought the Mad Lord, Taoist Seo. But it's no problem. Even if the Mad Lord comes, I can escape easily. What did you do to Quebec? I only gave her what she desired. She asked to see my sincerity, so I showed her the sincerity I had stored. It seems that the technique Seo Huiol had learned, similar to the canvas of myriad forms and connections, is a kind of technique for storing not memories but emotions. Now, what do you think, Quebec? Even after this, would you wish I had kissed you? Seo Huiol takes a step towards Quebec with an expressionless face. Startled, Quebec steps back in surprise at Seo Huiol's approach. Seo Huiol says with an empty face, emotions are quite interesting, aren't they? You talk as if you could accept my sincerity depending on the emotions, but after confirming those emotions, you are instead afraid. He looks at Quebec and commands. That's your sincerity, Quebec. With the witness of the vast cold oath gathered, if the caster wishes, it's possible to undo it. Undo the vast cold oath, Quebec. Aside from me giving you my sincerity, I know you can undo it if you wish. Quebec attempts to form a seal with trembling hands. At that moment, I shout powerfully. Don't do it, Senior Gurion. At those words, Quebec looks at me in shock. I'm well aware of how disgusting, how filthy Seo Huiol's true nature is, and I understand the shock you must have received, Senior Gurion. Imagine thinking about proposing to Bu Qianghua, only to find out it was Yuan Li. The mere thought makes one dizzy and nauseous. Gurion's feelings must be similar. But, didn't Senior Gurion want to take revenge on Seo Huiol? I am not Gurion. Quebec, significantly weakened, steps back from Seo Huiol and speaks. What has she seen in Seo Huiol? It wasn't just a glimpse of Seo Huiol's heart essence. Perhaps something much deeper. Something even I hadn't seen. Something even more grotesque. How ironic, Taoist Seo. Emotions are like that. One moment you like someone, and the next, seeing another aspect of them, everything falls apart. That's what emotions are. To an object, emotions are like the amount of air in the lungs. That alone is sufficient. That's all there is to emotions. Are you still spouting the logic that the lungs correspond to metal, so emotions are metallic? I coldly spit words at Seo Huiol and look at Quebec. I don't know what she saw. Therefore, I can't understand Quebec. But I can understand Gurion. Certainly, you are not Senior Gurion. You are an independent entity. However, you are precisely what was born from Senior Gurion's will, shaped into form. You're not just some leftover. You are one of the countless aspects Senior Gurion possessed. Therefore, she is indeed Gurion as well. Let me ask you one thing. How pointless. Seo Huiol extends his finger towards me. The entire space twists, and a tremendous gravitational force presses down on me. Then, Yuan stands in front of me. Stop, Baek Nyeong. The gravitational force in the space lightens, and a green light wriggles in the darkness. Baek Nyeong's figure emerges next to Seo Huiol. Master, Yuan protects me and Quebec from Seo Huiol and begins conversing with Baek Nyeong. The master and disciple begin their separate conversations. I briefly look at them before focusing on Gubek's eyes. Senior Gurion wanted to return what she received from Seo Huiol, didn't she? That's why. On the day you were born from Senior Gurion, you said you would kill Seo Huiol, right? Yes. But Gubek hesitates with trembling lips. I nod at her. Has it become difficult to kill Seo Huiol? I'm sorry. The moment I confirmed his sincerity, I lost the confidence to accept it from him. I understand. I nod. Then, may I take on that role for you? What? Upon my hands. Would you entrust me with your feelings towards Seo Huiol? Is that possible? I'll try. All right. Gubek slowly approaches and hugs me. I hug Gubek tightly in return. Gubek forms a seal. TSSSS. The golden chains emanating from her chest fades away. She's undone the vast cold oath herself. It isn't a foolish mistake to throw away the chance to bind and take revenge on Seo Huiol. I feel her heart entrusted to me. This ends rather anticlimactically. Soon, Gubek's body grows cold. Without a heart, Gubek had been forcibly circulating qi to extend her life. Now she dies. I, too, am barely holding on between the power of the black dragon and lightning. But soon I will be completely consumed. Yuhua, as well, cannot possibly handle Seo Huiol alone in this space. What should be done then? Before dying, I will muster the last of my strength and deliver a strike to Seo Huiol. Swoosh. The colorless glass sword, having reached the stage of total heavens, shines in all of heaven's colors. The misty canvas of myriad forms and connections unfolds in Seo Huiol's darkness. TSTSTST. Contemplating my body transforming into lightning, I close my eyes. Using the sea of righteousness and mountain of grace daily on Kim Yun, I continually reflected on my body transforming into lightning and martial arts. And while watching my body disperse into lightning, I reflected on what lightning is, gaining insight into it. From now on, I return to thee. Merely saying return to thee isn't enough to summon the true immortal, but perhaps it can attract their attention. Seo Huiol, too, might have blocked me because he feared receiving that attention. But there's something I fear more than the attention of true immortals. Therefore, risking the attention of true immortals, I strongly recall the eyes I saw then and accelerate the electrification of my entire body even further. Crackle. Third stage of manifestation. When reaching the stage beyond treading heavens, the nature of the attack changes, becoming akin to heavenly tribulation. Then, if I, already transforming my entire body into heavenly tribulation, use treading heavens beyond the path, would that be the same as the next stage? The answer is, crackle, over 90% similar. The lightning wrapping my body and the formless sword of treading heavens naturally merges, and the color of the lightning turns colorless. Kurung, Kururung. The essence of lightning is the instant, sattva. Our lives are also instant. Therefore, beyond treading heavens, which maximizes life, it bears a trait similar to heavenly tribulation. But to be more precise, I can only know once I've truly reached the next stage. Let's pose a problem. I smirk and aim the colorless glass sword at Seo Huiol. From now on. For now, this is sufficient. Kururung. How many heavenly tribulations will be added to you? Translator notes, sattva, in Chinese and Japanese, originally derived from Sanskrit, refers to an extremely brief moment or instant. In Buddhist philosophy, it is often used to describe the smallest unit of time, emphasizing the transient nature of all things where each moment is fleeting and quickly gives way to the next, the constant flux of the universe. Chapter 221, After the Performance, 3. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. Seo Huiol laughs as he watched me, surrounded by the sound of thunder. Rumble. Hoo-hoo. No matter how great the heart path method is, if it doesn't hit, it's no the dash. Crash. As the sound of thunder roars, the next moment I knee Seo Huiol in the head. His head is cleanly severed by the sharp energy. That makes one. Kugugugugu. Seo Huiol transforms into his true body. The massive body of a sea dragon fills the dark space. Demon ability, Grand Ocean Thousand Li Pearl. Swoosh. Within a radius of 500 li, a gigantic water droplet, big enough to be 1,000 li in diameter, appears in the dark space. In an instant, Seo Huiol and I are trapped inside a spherical sea, with Seo Huiol freely swimming and pressuring me. Demon ability, 300 million gene sweet water peach. Wawoom. Suddenly, the water pressure becomes immensely heavy. The water droplets flow into my remaining flesh, seemingly trying to swell it up like a water-soaked peach. But in the next moment, the colorless lightning wrapping my body turns into a golden hue. The first lightning, an invisible, undetectable, and penetrating all barriers to strike the nascent soul, heavenly tribulation. And the second lightning, flash. My body transcends the demon ability of the Grand Ocean Thousand Li Pearl, literally leaping through space. This is truly surpassing radiance. A heavenly tribulation striking down faster than light and tearing through space. My attack hit Co Huil's neck. Of course, being at the very peak of the 4-axis stage, Co Huil's body itself remains intact. However, that makes two. The reason the Heart Tribe is abhorred is due to the heavenly tribulations they incur when rising to higher realms. It will be quite amusing when Co Huil tries to ascend to the integration stage. The third heavenly tribulation. Can I do it? The reason I can replicate the surpassing Radiant Saber is because Kim Young-hoon's martial arts developed alongside me, and also because the foundation of the surpassing Radiant Saber and the formless sword lies in the same basis as the Severing Mountain swordsmanship and Severing Vein Saber method. Though I promised Quebec, can I really replicate others' emotions? I delve deeper, concentrating my consciousness even more. Wawoom. Outside Co Huil's canopy, the figure of Kim Yun shines even brighter. Connected to Co Eun-hyun, her brightness seems to increase even further as Co Eun-hyun shines brightly. And then, her figure, which had been still, moves her hand. The Mad Lord's eyes sparkle. The consciousness of my disciple. Not a nascent soul, but something more evolved. Is this the direction the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon should aim for? Wawoom. Kim Yun's figure points at the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Realizing what she intends to do, the Mad Lord chuckles. She intends to activate Yun's play? Alone? No, not alone. She plans to collaborate with Co Eun-hyun who entered inside. Well, let's see how it goes. The Mad Lord looks at Kim Yun with anticipation in his eyes. And Kim Yun moves her hand. In her grasp, countless threads of consciousness are caught, and those threads enter the wonderfully mysterious fortress, activating its final stage. Kagugugu. Wawoom. The golden radiance of Yun's play activates. It flows into Co Huil's canopy. The Mad Lord quietly watches the scene. No matter how much you try to activate the Yun's play from the outside, if you don't create coordinates for time-space inside and supply power towards those coordinates, it's useless. What exactly are you trying to do? Dive deeper, even deeper, as I concentrate my consciousness to unfold others' hearts. Wawoom. The thread of consciousness connected to me from Kim Yun shines. At the same time, a golden radiance surrounds me. This is, I feel it as soon as I am touched by the radiance. This is Yun's play. Kim Yun, from outside, activated Yun's play and sent its power to me. But what should I do with it? How should I? Wait. A thought flashes through my mind. Is that it? I immediately put the thought into action. Wawoom. Having studied the wonderfully mysterious fortress and understood the operation of Yun's play, I also grasped how the Mad Lord attracted spacetime. First, replicate that moment of desire as a puppet show to fix the coordinates of spacetime. Then, using one's own gravitational pull to twist spacetime to create a path between that spacetime and the current. The key is fixing the coordinates. The difference between the Mad Lord's puppet show and my canvas of myriad forms and connections is just in the materials. There isn't much difference. Wawoom. I infused the power of Yun's play into the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The power contained within the canvas of myriad forms and connections surges into the colorless glass sword. Fate has its own gravitational pull. Then, wouldn't history comparable to fate also possess a similar gravitational pull? Flash. My history accumulated in the canvas of myriad forms and connections shines, distorting spacetime. I begin my sword dance. And right beside me, performing the dance alongside me, appears the shadow of a man. I transparently encapsulate that dance, that heart, within the formless sword and unfold it. Kururum. Once again, golden rays of light strike Co Huil directly. I smile as I look at the side profile of the man manifested through the canvas of myriad forms and connections. It's been a while. The surpassing Radiant Saber I manifested this time is much more natural than the one I forcibly manifested just before. The man leaves me a smile and disappears back into the canvas of myriad forms and connections. So that's how it is. Unbeknownst to me, my canvas of myriad forms and connections is the optimal method to unfold Yun's play. I feel confident. At this moment, the canvas of myriad forms and connections and Yun's play, my treading heavens beyond the path and the curse of lightning transformation have all merged. I realize what I can do. TSTSTST. From the canvas of myriad forms and connections, a green figure springs out. The green figure, wielding a padao, is manifested by Yun's play. For treasures annihilating heaven's blade. Heaven collapsing, annihilating heavens. The last annihilating heavens of the 4 treasures annihilating heaven's blade. The strike that granted the green figure the title of heaven collapsing esteemed one. The strongest strike that can even collapse the heavens. The absurd power that had split the wonderfully mysterious fortress in two at the verge of the star-shattering stage unfolds from my formless sword. Crash. Green lightning strikes Xiao Hui's flank. The third lightning. A heavenly tribulation that tears everything apart and destroys it through space. Xiao Hui's flank is laid bare with scales stripped away to reveal muscle and blood vessels. However, Xiao Hui enters into the grand ocean thousandly pearl, absorbing water attributes spiritual energy, and calmly prepares his attack. Demon ability, extinguishing Misulam raining heavens. Swoosh. The water of the grand ocean thousandly pearl turns into sharp raindrops, scattering in all directions. Each raindrop possesses the insane power to destroy hills. Kuguguguk. When Xiao Hui focuses his gravitational pull on me, the raindrops all plunge towards me. Baek Nyong adds power to the gravitational pull from within his magic artifact. However, the figure of Baek Nyong is also present within my canvas of myriad forms and connections. Baek Nyong is manifested, and I receive and unfold his beyond the path. Mountain repelling whip. The formless sword extends like a whip in all directions, distorting weight. Eventually, the raindrops that envelop me turn into streams of water that, although full of spiritual energy, weigh no more than a speck of dust. Kagugugu. Not stopping there, I break through the clouds formed by the water streams and launch an attack on Xiao Hui's back. The immature beyond the path of Baek Nyong's also becomes a heavenly tribulation within my formless sword, striking Xiao Hui. The fourth lightning. A heavenly tribulation that makes the body so heavy that even moving a finger becomes difficult upon impact. Kagugugu. I swing the formless sword from Xiao Hui's back, rush towards his front paw, cut off the small necklace tied there, and kick the necklace away. Pang. The crystal piece containing Baek Nyong's soul flies towards Yuhua, and I prepare for my final move. Kagugugu. Once again, golden light swirls around my entire body, and from the canvas of myriad forms and connections, the figure of Gyubek appears. No, it isn't just Gyubek. Starting from Gurion's first appearance, falling in love with Xiao Hui, being betrayed, transforming into Gyubek, and returning to this place. All her forms appear and are manifested in the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The golden light turns into chains. I wrap the chains around the colorless glass sword and look at Xiao Hui. Demon ability, illusory mist of 10,000 shadows. Realizing that being hit by this will be disastrous, Xiao Hui creates an illusion to hide and avoid it. But it's useless. I have the combined vision of heaven, earth, and heart tribes. I see it. I hold the golden chains. Holding the heart I received from Gurion and Gyubek, I infuse it back into the formless sword. Here I go. Behind me, Gurion and Gyubek, and all the connections I've made in this life. The countless records of past and history accumulated throughout my lives push me forward. For a moment, I see every scene recorded in the canvas of myriad forms and connections. I see what makes up the person I am. TST, TSTSTST, the Black Dragon's true blood. Why do only the young members of the demon race under 1,000 years participate in the immortal beast blood fusion? Why don't they infuse the power of immortal beasts into older members to strengthen their race's power? Today, I finally realized the reason. The true blood is being expelled from the body. Immortal beasts are beings that oversee history. All beings who live more than 9 times their natural lifespan and amass a grand history are seeds of immortal beasts in themselves. I have, living for over 2,000 years, already bloomed the qualifications to become an immortal beast. The cumbersome power of the Black Dragon is unnecessary. The true blood of the Black Dragon could have been a disaster that nearly prevented my own blossoming as an immortal beast. But at this moment, I realize. SSSSHHHH. The dragon's form disappears from my body, and the pale fog of the canvas of myriad forms and connections envelopes me, starting to infuse new power. Although it's only this much for now, if I continue to amass history, I might truly ascend as a new immortal beast. Flash. The form of the Black Dragon and the power of lightning. Both are expelled from Xiao Eunhyun's body in an instant, and Xiao Eunhyun is clad in white and surrounded by a pure white mist. Xiao Eunhyun's figure grasps the golden chains and launches himself towards Xiao Hui. Xiao Eunhyun's last gift to Xiao Hui. The final lightning. A heavenly tribulation that continues to fall until Xiao Hui dies. The heavenly tribulation, manifested by the auspicious exchange of emotional expression received from Gyubek, absorbs the power of the white fog and accelerates, briefly surpassing his thoughts. Xiao Eunhyun's sword, and Gyubek's heart, directly pierces Xiao Hui's heart. FZZT. Xiao Hui coughs up blood and begins to draw the space of darkness into his body. The 4 axes return to Xiao Hui's body. Xiao Hui looks at Xiao Eunhyun and then at the Mad Lord watching him from outside the wonderfully mysterious fortress. SSSSHHH. The figure of Kim Yun, having completed her task, gradually disappears, and the Mad Lord begins to lapse back into madness. Co Wheel, Co Wheel, Co Wheel, oh Co Wheel. Co Wheel transforms into his human form, smiles briefly, then turns into a blue light and disappears somewhere. The Mad Lord, drooling, leads the wonderfully mysterious fortress and flies off, following Co Wheel's trail. And Co Eunhyun collapses right there. Crackle. Next to Co Eunhyun, Yua shatters the magic artifact containing Baek Nyang's soul, liberating him while looking at Co Eunhyun. Are you satisfied? I am satisfied. That's good. One thing. Co Eunhyun's entire body is swirling with pure white mist and lightning. The mist tries to expel the lightning, but the lightning consuming Co Eunhyun's body is faster. Co Eunhyun, turning into lightning and scattering, speaks to Yua. The heaven-collapsing esteemed one. Infuse something into Gyubek. Gyubek conveyed her heart to me, and now it's inside me. I think I should pass it on to you. This was the consolation the heaven-collapsing esteemed one gave to Gurion and Gyubek. Also, a part of the esteemed one's enlightenment about the heart, emotions. Some cultivators say the amount of air in the lungs is the heart, emotions, and since the lungs correspond to metal, the heart, emotions, is metallic. But if we follow your cultivator's logic, since the metal of the 5 elements corresponds to the qian of the 8 trigrams, isn't the heart from the heavens? Your heart lives touching the heavens, and just as you cannot deny the heavens, you cannot deny the heart. So even if someone denies your heart, it never truly disappears. These are the words Jang it conveyed to Gurion and Gyubek, and through them, the words and enlightenment he infused. Where does the heart come from? If heaven is fate and earth is life, then perhaps the heart comes between fate and life, accompanying life. The performance is over, but the heart remains, continuing onwards. After conveying Jang Ik's enlightenment to Yua, Co Eunhyun finally scatters into fragments of lightning and disappears into the void. That is Co Eunhyun's 16th return. Translator notes, this entire cycle felt like a build-up. I'm ready for the next. Chapter 222, 17 Cycles, First Day. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. Wandering for 500 years with Hong Fan to gather strength and escape the curse. But ultimately failing to completely escape the curse, dying after leaving a will in front of Hong Fan. That was my 17th return. I blink my eyes and look around. The familiar figure of Co Wheel, and the figures from the flying immortal platform. What? I feel an overwhelming sense of incongruity. It's strange. This is definitely the 17th cycle. But I have an overwhelming feeling of DJVU as if I had jumped directly from the 15th cycle to the 17th. The memories of just before, accepting Gyubek's heart, and dying after passing Jang Ik's message to Yua, are vivid. It feels like it has just happened. No, more precisely, it feels as if this 16th cycle has just vanished entirely. Something's wrong. I remember there was a 16th cycle, but I can't remember the 16th cycle. It feels like I've skipped directly from the 15th to the 17th. Why is this happening? I hold my head in confusion. Then it happens. Zing. 9 categories. The term 9 categories becomes etched into my mind. 9 categories? What is this term? Is it related to the memories of the 16th cycle that I've lost? 9 categories, 9 categories. Amidst my confusion, I repeat the word 9 categories internally. Then, at some moment, 9 categories. I feel the realization of what 9 categories mean dawn on me. 9 categories is a name. It's someone's name. As I repeat this name, to myself, I suddenly flinch. I remember the memories from the 15th cycle when I faced disaster for recklessly calling the name of the heavenly lightning banner. But then, a vague memory surfaces. No, that's not it. 9 categories is not the name of someone terrifying like the owner of the heavenly lightning banner or anything similar. Instead, it's a very familiar name, as if uttering 9 categories poses no threat whatsoever, an unfounded belief that takes hold within me. Who is 9 categories? Could it be related to someone who erased my entire 16th cycle from my memory? Has a true immortal, or at least a being above the star-shattering stage, interfered with me? I can think of no other explanation. Hey, at that moment, I am startled by Co Wheel's voice, calling me in a familiar tone. Are you alright? You suddenly looked panic-stricken and very confused. For now, I set aside my thoughts on 9 categories and the lost 16th cycle and look at Co Wheel. Perhaps because I lost the 16th return, I realize that the emotions I felt during the 15th return are still vivid towards Co Wheel now. I briefly look at Co Wheel, then at Gurion behind him, who is trying to lead the demon beasts to the true dragon alliance. Gurion looks dissatisfied with Co Wheel's slow movements and with me, whom Co Wheel is trying to recruit. I feel bitter looking at her. The Gurion I know from the 15th cycle is gone, and Gyubek, one of those connections, is also forever out of reach. With that sentiment, I politely greet Gurion in the demon race language, not overtly but subtly. As a member of the human race, Co Unhyun greets the envoy of the Earth tribe. Don't talk to me, human. I turn my gaze away from Gurion, who looks annoyed, to Hyo Guak leading the Black Ghost Valley, and Jin Byuk-ho, leading the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect and Black Ghost Valley. These are the only two factions I haven't visited yet. Wawoom. I naturally release my consciousness domain. Rumble. A vast consciousness fills the area. And seeing the size of my consciousness, everyone, including Seo Huiol, are astonished. A nascent soul stage consciousness. In the 16th cycle, I think I reached the mid-stage of nascent soul, forming a young spirit. My consciousness has always been larger than cultivators of the same stage since the time of 5 energies converging to the origin, and it has always been significantly larger after learning the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Although I don't remember much from the 16th cycle, reaching the mid-stage of nascent soul means my consciousness domain is similar to that of a late-stage nascent soul cultivator. Join our Azure Heaven Creation sect. Seeing the size of your consciousness, you are a talent well suited for refining the body. Haha, splendid. You. How about joining the Earth tribe? Azure Tiger Saint and Co Huiol both reach out to me, and the Mad Lord, watching my consciousness, suddenly starts humming and swaying his body. The Mad Lord seems ready to kidnap me if necessary. And Jin Byuk-ho and Hyo Guak also rush towards me, eyes wide. This is unbelievable. You must come to our Black Ghost Valley. It's the perfect place for you to flourish your talents. With death filled in your soul and your consciousness domain, even in your current state, you could command dozens of ghost kings just by learning the basics of the Ghost Path method. WE, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, also. Shut up, Jin Byuk-ho. This guy is absolutely necessary for our Black Ghost Valley. He's got the perfect talent for learning ghost techniques. What room does your lightning methods have to interfere? Right then. Zing. The Heavenly Lightning Banner that Jin Byuk-ho possesses. As the Heavenly Lightning Banner approaches me, I feel a sudden heat surge through my body. At the same time, crackle, crackle. I am shocked to see lightning sparking from various parts of my body. Damn it. The memory from the 16th cycle faintly resurfaces again. The 15th cycle. The curse of lightning transformation I received from directly facing the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner. It had followed me even beyond returns. I struggled for 500 years alongside Hong Fan in various places around the world during the 16th cycle to shed the curse of lightning transformation. Fortunately, as time passed, the curse of lightning transformation gradually faded, and just before dying, the speed of becoming lightning significantly slowed down. And now, in the 17th cycle, damn it, I realize with a grimace that the lightning sparking is not coming from my body, but from my blood. The droplets of my blood are slowly and definitely turning into lightning. The curse is progressing definitely slower than in the previous cycle, but undoubtedly, my body is definitely transforming into lightning. Despite dying twice in the 15th and 16th cycles, I am still terminally affected by the true immortal's curse. The somewhat relieving aspect is that in my last life, I had lived for 500 years before my body disintegrated into lightning. This means in this life, I will have quite some time. Anyway, I must exert effort to shed the curse of lightning transformation in this life as well. It's then. Suddenly, Jin Byuk-ho's eyes turn. This is lightning's sacred body. Get lost, Hyo Guak. This guy's physique is very similar to the lightning's sacred body, a legend passed down in our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. There was no reaction when we tested him in the lower realm. I don't know what happened. Anyway, this guy must be taken by our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Don't talk nonsense. Why should we give someone born with a natural talent for ghost path methods to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? A natural talent for ghost path methods? This guy is undoubtedly a genius of lightning path methods born with a lightning sacred body. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Hyo Guak shouts at me with an excited expression, ignoring Jin Byuk-ho. Lightning path methods are plenty even in our Black Ghost Valley, which has a history of 500,000 years. From the 6 extremes, Een Thunder Spirit comparable to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect's Taiji Quaking Lighting Body, to the Primordial Lightning True Devil Technique, Great Blood Lightning Barrier War Force, and more. Even if you are born with a talent for lightning path methods, you can bloom your talent in the Black Ghost Valley. However, since the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, with its short history, lacks ghost path methods, if you go there, your other talents will never be able to bloom. Such ghost path methods can just be stolen from other sects and learned in our sect. And the lightning path methods of the Black Ghost Valley that Hyogwak mentioned were developed only to counter the power of our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's lightning path methods. In actuality, when cultivators of the Six Extremes Een Thunder Spirit, which he claims compares to our Taiji Quaking Lighting Body, clash, the Six Extremes Een Thunder Spirit gets beaten up and only manages to run away with their life in countless cases. If you join the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, you can overcome the Black Ghost Valley's devilish arts right from the elemental compatibility. In fact, when disciples of the Black Ghost Valley and the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect spar, the win rate is about 7-3 in favor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Nonsense. The example he's talking about is just friendly sparring. In actual combat, our sect's devilish arts have not just 1 or 2 advantages over being on equal footing. Hyogwak and Jean Byakho spit at each other, eyes rolling back in fervor over me. In that overheated atmosphere, Seo Huiol steps forward to mediate between the two. Shouldn't one of you concede? It's not good to get heated like this so soon after joining the Flying Immortal platform. Well, that's true, but if that's the case, why don't you both calmly explain to the junior why he must absolutely come to your sect? With a few words, Seo Huiol manages to calm them down a bit more. With Seo Huiol's mediation, Jean Byakho steps forward to speak first. Anyone with a spiritual root knows how we cultivate the lightning path methods in our sect. Our sect's spirit is even more cohesive than the Black Ghost Valleys, depending on how one practices the lightning path methods. Moreover, mastering the Thunderclap Wall force can be a definite help when overcoming heavenly tribulation in the future. What could be more important to a cultivator than overcoming heavenly tribulation? Following Jean Byakho, Hyogwak speaks. Let's cut to the chase. Born with a lightning saint body and possessing the highest talent for ghost path methods, you are the best candidate to learn the Six Extremes Een Lightning Spirit. Jean Byakho says it loses to the Taiji Quaking Lighting Body, but that's because there hasn't been anyone who fully mastered the Six Extremes Een Lightning Spirit in the history of our sect. If you can master the Six Extremes Een Lightning Spirit, regardless of compatibility, it will not lose to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's lightning path methods. Remember, there's no method our sect, with its 500,000-year history, does not possess. Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect or Black Ghost Valley. I contemplate which sect to choose. Honestly, I'm not too concerned about what methods they have. At my current level, if I just recover my cultivation, I can even confront a 4-axis stage cultivator, so I don't covet any methods. Instead, I decide to focus on the incidents that will occur in both sects. The Heavenly Lightning Banner leads its owner to descend where the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is located, and the Black Ghost Valley nearly falls apart as Kong Minhee becomes the ghost guiding Holy Mother. I ponder about the two people involved in both sects. John Myung-hoon for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and Kong Minhee for the Black Ghost Valley. Honestly, John Myung-hoon isn't that appealing to me. Although the negative feelings have dissipated, I don't particularly harbor good feelings either. I think about Kong Minhee. The first thought that comes to mind about Kong Minhee is uncomfortable. Literally, my feelings towards Kong Minhee are uncomfortable. If John Myung-hoon and I are alone, he would try to bother me, but I can tolerate that. It would be at a level where I just find him cute, as in a baby. However, if Kong Minhee and I end up alone in the Black Ghost Valley, it'd feel insanely uncomfortable. It doesn't matter to me since time has passed, but Kong Minhee would probably avoid meeting me as much as possible. For me, it's something that happened over 2,500 years ago, but for Kong Minhee, it's only been a year and a half. However, the problem is, I need to interact with Kong Minhee to figure out why Kong Minhee becomes the ghost guiding Holy Mother. Damn, thinking about my relationship with Kong Minhee gives me a slight headache. Kong Minhee will definitely not talk to me. At Ascension Path, she might have pretended to talk to me because of the company people, but if we were alone, it was clear she would treat me as if I didn't exist. It's troublesome. I've made my decision. I look at Jean Byakho and greet him. I have long heard of the illustrious reputation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Haha, a good choice. Jean Byakho laughs heartily and pats my shoulder, while Hyogwak turns his pale face away in frustration. Damn. Then, Seo Huiol approaches Hyogwak and whispers something in his ear. After hearing Seo Huiol's words, Hyogwak sighs deeply. He seems to ponder deeply before gritting his teeth and pulling something out of his storage bag. It's a skull. The skull is inscribed with intricate details of techniques and resembles a cultivation manual, similar to how demon beast methods are inscribed on parts of the body. ZZZT. When Hyogwak grasps the skull, eerie souls flow into the top of the skull, covering the engraved characters. He extends the skull towards me, saying, "Take this, it's a manual containing the 6 extremes Een Lightning Spirit." Though it's regrettable that you're going to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and it pains me. Should you ever wish to leave the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and come to the Black Ghost Valley, confess your sincerity to the soul sealed in this manual. The soul sealed in the manual will teach you the intricacies of the 6 extremes in lightning spirit, and you can come to the Black Ghost Valley after mastering it. To give me something like this. Hyogwak smirks. It would be a waste to leave such a talent that's fated to master the 6 extremes in lightning technique. We can't just leave the technique collecting dust in the archives. You are someone who must master it, so keep it. I express my gratitude to Hyogwak's generosity by also giving him a formal bow. Jean Byako seems displeased, but allows it for the time being. After I chose the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Garayan and Seo Huiol returned to the True Dragon Alliance territory, and Mad Lord began his mischief once again. Taking advantage of the chaos caused by Mad Lord, I secretly implanted the mysterious bizarre goo back into Kim Yun, unnoticed by anyone. Mad Lord abducted the wooden man again, and a bounty was placed on him. After Mad Lord's departure, I followed Jean Byako back to the human race territory once more. After registering my name in the register at Temporal Fate Island, I closed my eyes to organize my thoughts. Choosing the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect this life wasn't solely due to my relations with Kong Min He being complicated. The first reason I chose the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was due to my aversion to devilish arts. First of all, the Black Ghost Valley is a sect that practices devilish arts. I had never been keen on practicing devilish arts, but my aversion reached its peak after dealing with Yuan Li. Although I use Yuan Yu as it feels more like spoils from killing Yuan Li, I actually dislike seeing Yuan Yu's face and use it periodically as a practice target for curse techniques. Besides the aversion to devilish arts, the second reason is that while there seems to be a solution for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's problem, there is little information about the Black Ghost Valley. I still don't know why Kong Min He became the ghost guiding Holy Mother and how to resolve it. Therefore, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, with a clearer solution, is a better choice for me. The third reason is guilt. Last life, or was it the life before that? Anyway, in the 15th cycle, I annihilated the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. It was beyond my control, and I was unaware at the time. However, it's a fact that millions of humans died because of me. In the 15th cycle, my body suddenly became terminal, and I was solely focused on ending Seo Huiol, so I didn't have time to properly feel guilty. But undoubtedly, that is a significant karma of mine. I can't just ignore it and choose the Black Ghost Valley, pretending nothing happened. The fourth reason is the curse of lightning transformation. After all, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect specializes in lightning path methods, being descendants of Yang Su Jin, the golden deity. They might have records or solutions to the curse. Even if not specifically the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, their location, Thunder Spirit Island, is famous for its lightning path sect. There might be a clue revealed if I investigate around. The fifth reason is for a hint beyond treading heavens. The commonality between lightning and life isn't just the instant. Studying the lightning path methods in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and contemplating over heavenly tribulation and heavenly lightning might also give me a chance to fully understand what lies beyond. So do I have two main goals in this life? I sort out my thoughts. First, to find a way to undo the curse of lightning transformation. Second, to steal the heavenly lightning banner from within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and then return to the head realm. I won't plan on shoving it into Seo Huiol's mouth or anything like that. Now that I've realized I can return from the upper realm to the lower realm again, I'll steal the heavenly lightning banner from the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and seal it in the head realm. Undoing the lightning curse and stealing the heavenly lightning banner will be the major objectives of this life. Of course, I should also try to find the lost memories of the 16th cycle. However, the reason I don't set finding the 16th cycle's memories as a goal for this life is because, somehow, I feel that I will never be able to find those memories again, a notion deeply ingrained in my subconscious. Not instilled by others, but my own instincts and cognition perceive it that way. This sense of void, as if a part of history is cut out, perhaps indicates that I shouldn't dare to find those memories again until I reach true immortal status. The memories of the 16th cycle. I'll try to find them slowly. The canvas of myriad forms and connections of the 16th cycle, too, is hidden from my eyes, shrouded in a misty fog. Setting the two objectives in mind, I arrive at Thunder Spirit Island with Jean Byako. Upon arrival at Thunder Spirit Island, the heavenly being stage elders of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect appear around Jean Byako. Zap ZZT. Jean Byako waves his hand, and a familiar flag appears. The Heavenly Lightning Banner. I pretend not to see the Heavenly Lightning Banner and greet with the elders. Haha, such fortune. To have two disciples with such talent join our sect. The ancestor, the golden deity, would be pleased. The elders laugh heartily, calling the lightning transformation curse a lightning saint body, and welcome me warmly. Jean Byuk-ho, amidst chatting with the elders, says, "Then, as the supreme sect leader, I shall go subjugate the traitors of our sect and those despicable ones from Thundercloud Peak. Only a few elders should stay behind, and all others should follow me. The remaining few should take out the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect's flag and prepare the disciples to follow. Let's get the new disciples ready to learn the lightning path methods." Understood. Two of the oldest-looking heavenly being stage elders stay behind, and the rest follow Jean Byuk-ho to one side of Thunder Spirit Island and fly away. First, we must prepare to learn the lightning path methods. An elder chuckles, stroking his beard and giving me a meaningful look. Lightning path methods. This is my first time directly learning lightning path methods. Though I had indirect exposure, direct proficiency is something I haven't much experience with. How exactly do we prepare to learn it? Was it like the Azure Heaven Creation sect, where they tie you up and electrocute you? Or perhaps, like the Mad Lord, some modification to easily accept lightning energy? I am ready to accept any harsh training. Just when I steel my resolve. Lightning is born from the circulation of yin and yang, which is the core of all lightning path methods. Therefore, those who practice lightning path methods must primarily focus on the circulation of yin and yang, that is, the cycle of Taiji. Yes, I am aware. This information was previously obtained from Yun Wei regarding the gender-changing technique, the Taiji quaking lightning body. That's why our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect forms dual cultivation partners during training to facilitate the smooth exchange of yin and yang. Starting now, let's find you a suitable dual cultivation partner. Translator notes, never mind. The 16th cycle was the real build-up LOL. Chapter 223, Black Snake, 1. Dual cultivation partners? I stand there, momentarily unable to comprehend what was just said. And then, the next moment, seeing you silent, you must be quite shy. Let's see. Besides the lightning saint body, we'll examine the bloodlines you possess and find the most suitable woman based on your bloodline. Wow, wait a moment. I suddenly come to my senses and hurriedly stop the elder. Did you say dual cultivation partners? Yes, dual cultivation partners. Didn't the Supreme Sect Master explain it earlier? How we practice the lightning path method and how close the relationships among our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect disciples are. You being from the same head realm should know, shouldn't you? I didn't know, but that's not the point. What is dual cultivation? It's a method where two or more cultivators exchange their energies to amplify their cultivation practices. It's common for sworn brothers to sit side by side cultivating their methods, or for disciples of the same sect to create dual cultivation formations to exchange energies. However, the dual cultivation involving yin and yang, or male and female, is vastly different from these wholesome methods. Most dual cultivation techniques focusing on the exchange of yin and yang involve the use of intimate methods to amplify their energies, in other words, sexual techniques. Moreover, not just any dual cultivation, but the fact that the term partners is used, which refers to a couple in the cultivation world, makes it crystal clear. The elder in front of me is looking to find a woman for me to form a yin and yang dual cultivation partnership. Normally, we don't assign dual cultivation partners right after joining the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. This is because doing so could disrupt the gender balance. Typically, one can only form a dual cultivation partnership after mastering the basic techniques of the sect and passing the 7 stars ritual. Then why me? That's because for someone with a legendary constitution like you, forming a dual cultivation partnership early on helps everyone by quickly learning the true lightning path methods. Of course, this is snap. With a flick of his finger, a ball of light bursts from a flask at the elder's waist, converging towards the ground. Flash. The light shines brightly, and the lump of light transforms into the shape of a person. It's John Myung-hoon, unconscious. This fellow here, born with the heavenly golden thunder body, is the same. Both of you have awakened legendary bloodlines passed down in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, so quickly forming dual cultivation partnerships will benefit everyone immensely. I remain silent for a moment. This is troublesome. I had made up my mind through multiple cycles whether to give my affection to a fated partner or not. If there's someone I can give my affection to in that life, I will, because they are irreplaceable and unique to that life. This will be the same no matter how many cycles I go through. That is my principle. But this case is different. Becoming a couple and sharing affection isn't just about meeting someone. It's about forming a bond. Even if it's without love, and just as dual cultivation partners, facing each other for decades will inevitably lead to affection. Furthermore, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect will eventually be destroyed by the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner. It's not like everything gets resolved just because I don't call out Zhongli's name and keep my mouth shut. As my whole body turned into lightning and underwent return, I gradually gained knowledge about lightning. Through that, I gradually realized the attraction between the heavenly lightning banner and its owner. Whether I call Zhongli's name or not, the owner of the heavenly lightning banner will inevitably come to the bright cold realm due to the attraction linked with their immortal treasure. From the moment it left the head realm, it was fated to happen. I cannot afford to give my affection carelessly until I seal the heavenly lightning banner in the head realm. Moreover, if I find a dual cultivation partner while I still have Kim Yun, perhaps the moment I rescue Kim Yun from the Mad Lord, Kim Yun might turn me into a true Grand General right away, so it's better to be cautious. I would like to start with the basics. I express my opinion to the Heavenly Being Stage Elder. I do not wish to be treated specially just because I possess a unique constitution. I want to build my foundation from the basics of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and gradually progress upwards. Among the two elders who stayed behind to find dual cultivation partners for John Myung-hoon and me, one nodded in agreement while the other looked displeased. In principle, that's correct. But to waste such talent until the 7 stars ritual. Their opinions are divided. After a moment of contemplation, they sigh and lift John Myung-hoon. Come on, wake up. Zap. One of the elders shocked the unconscious John Myung-hoon with electricity, causing him to tremble and scream. Arg. Firstly, the bearded elder grabs John Myung-hoon's head and begins to draw out his spiritual energy. It's clear he's quickly injecting knowledge of the human race Grand Alliance common language and other essential information into John Myung-hoon's mind. John Myung-hoon screams in resistance to the forced knowledge, but he can't escape from the hands of the Heavenly Being Stage Elder. I watched the scene with a bittersweet feeling. Had I been weaker or less knowledgeable, I would have been in that situation. It makes me realize how threatening beings of the Heavenly Being Stage are simply by existing, even to someone like me. Now, with the power of treading heavens and the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I'm not scared at all since I can fight on equal terms with one of the elders in front of me in a short-term battle. But back in the head realm, not to mention a Heavenly Being Stage cultivator, even a nascent soul stage cultivator was a great source of fear for me. Let's set an initial goal for this life to accumulate power as quickly as possible. Even if I just recover my original cultivation. No, if I recover the cultivation of the 16th cycle where I had achieved the Yang spirit, I can quickly leap over the late nascent soul stage and even grand perfection. That would bring me right to the doorstep of the Heavenly Being Stage. In this life, I will definitely reach the Heavenly Being Stage. I'm not merely aiming for something like the mid-stage of nascent soul. I will break through to the Heavenly Being Stage without fail. For some reason, the Heaven Tribe method, Earth Tribe method, and the realm beyond treading heavens. If I manage to advance all three together, I have an intuition that something will definitely change starting from the Heavenly Being Stage. Meanwhile, John Myung-hoon, who has somewhat regained consciousness, holds his head in confusion and looks around. He must be disoriented. Suddenly kidnapped by Jean Byuk-ho, then waking up in a strange place, and then having strange knowledge injected into him. Can you understand me now? Startled by the question from the Heavenly Being Stage elders, John Myung-hoon responds in a clumsy voice. Where is this? Who are you? Good. The language has been properly inputted. Not just the language, but we've also streamlined and input basic cultural knowledge of Shengzi, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and the cultivation world, so you shouldn't need any explanations for the terminology. Yes? Golden. Heavenly Thunder sect, cultivation world, ugh. John Myung-hoon clutches his head, appearing to be in pain from the newly acquired knowledge. After a while, he opens his mouth with a trembling voice, his eyes shining. Is this a Xinxia novel? That kind of place. What's that? John Myung-hoon chuckles, holding his head. So, it turns out this place is a world within a Xinxia novel, and I must have entered into that novel. Is this a book transmigration story? It's clearly the world of the novel Thunder Taoist I was reading. I pitifully look down at John Myung-hoon, who is failing to distinguish reality. It seems he thinks he's in a Xinxia novel he used to sneak reads at during work, but it's not. I have a rough idea of what he was reading, but it's entirely different from the start. Believing he has become the protagonist of a novel, John Myung-hoon arrogantly speaks to the Heavenly Being Stage elders. All right, tell me again. What partnership were you trying to form with me? And with those words, the elders frown. Before dual cultivation, it seems we need to teach you manners first. Whack. An elder smacks John Myung-hoon on the head, causing him to faint on the spot again. After John Myung-hoon faints, the elders sigh as they look at me. You and this fellow are colleagues, but why does he act so arrogantly towards elders he meets for the first time? Does he know he has a heavenly golden thunder body? I don't know. His personality is just like this. He grew up in a noble family and lacks a bit of etiquette, so please understand. Is that so? He still hasn't shed his worldly desires, then. The elders shake their heads in disapproval. Then, for now, you will start learning the basic techniques once the sect stabilizes, and this fellow will be taught manners before being assigned a dual cultivation partner. Who should we entrust with teaching him manners? Everyone will be busy stabilizing the sect for a while. We can leave it to Sohei. She was originally a member of the discipline hall, capturing and interrogating disciples who violated the sect's rules. Being a direct descendant of the supreme sect leader, she will be protected within the sect during this stabilization period. That's perfect. Thus, John Myung-hoon and I are spared from immediately forming dual cultivation partnerships. Wawoom. I look up at the sky along with the unconscious John Myung-hoon and the two elders. The entire Thunder Spirit Island is trembling, and lightning begins to writhe across the sky. The traitor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect who entered Thundercloud Peak come out within the count of 10. Jean Byako sternly held up the Heavenly Lightning banner, staring at Thundercloud Peak. The summit of Thundercloud Peak, where the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is most concentrated. The edge of Thundercloud Peak begins to vibrate with lightning energy. Is that the traitor who betrayed the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect decades ago? A Peak 4-axis stage. Jean Byako made a quick decision. A fearsome senior of the sect who has mastered the Taiji quaking lighting body to its extreme. Delaying even a moment would result in Jean Byako being at a disadvantage. 1, 2, 10. Jean Byako finishes counting and immediately swings the Heavenly Lightning banner. Kururum. The entire Thunder Spirit Island is shaken by the lightning summoned by the Heavenly Lightning banner. Kururum. Lightning completely envelopes the vicinity of Thundercloud Peak. The heavenly being stage elders of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect all erect protective barriers behind Jean Byako to shield themselves from the power of lightning. ZZZT, ZZZT, ZZT. However, even as lightning envelopes Thundercloud Peak and the entire Thunder Spirit Island, Jean Byako feels a tingling sensation throughout his body. That being qualified to reach the integration stage. Incredible. Practically a grand cultivator on the verge of the integration stage. They are one of the few monsters in the long history of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect close to reaching the integration stage, aside from the direct disciples of Yang Sujin. Perhaps if it weren't for the arrival of those with the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body and Lightning Sacred Body, Jean Byako might have chosen not to kill that being, but rather to spare their life and have them abandon their cultivation. But now, the sect no longer needs such a traitor. The Heavenly Golden Thunder Body is in their hands. It is time to recreate the renown of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect that once spread across the entire continent and beyond into the 3,000 great worlds during Yang Sujin's era. An unfavorable precedent should just be cut off. Kururum. Jean Byako further infuses the Heavenly Lightning banner with power, intensifying the lightning's might. Quajajijik. A bead of sweat begins to roll down Jean Byako's forehead. Wawoom. A gigantic Taiji symbol emerges amidst the lightning. As the symbol of yin and yang rotates, it absorbs the lightning of the Heavenly Lightning banner from where the Thundercloud Peak stands. Kurung, Kururum. In the spaces with nothing but radiance from lightning, the flow of Taiji appears, consuming the lightning and revealing the form of Thundercloud Peak once more. At the very top of the Thundercloud Peak, there is a small pavilion. Above that pavilion, the Taiji symbol transfers the power of the consumed lightning into the interior of the pavilion. You, a mere blood clot, dare to oppose an elder of the sect when our difference spans 40,000 years. Zing. Jean Byako feels his head ringing and his innards churning at the opponent's voice. Don't make me laugh, Yunwei. You were expelled by the ancestral command, so it's only right to remove the Jean surname that's given to those qualified as sect leaders. How dare someone like you call yourself an elder of the sect? Do you know how much the status of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect fell because of your betrayal 40,000 years ago? You deserve to pay for your sins. 40,000 years ago, even your great-great-grandfather hadn't been born, so what gives you the right to prattle on so insolently? Do you even know what I did for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? Crack, crack, crack. The pavilion from which the voice emanates begins to split apart. And then, quam, the roof of the pavilion bursts open and a long arm protrudes from within. Jean Byako begins to sweat coldly. At that time, the name of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, which received the mantle from the ancestor, should not have existed in the Middle Realm. That's why I painstakingly erased all traces of the ancestor. A gigantic arm, thin and emitting lightning energy, an arm the size of a small hill. Kagugugu. Soon, another arm pops out of the pavilion, and in the cramped pavilion, the figure of a giant monstrous creature begins to appear. And what are you doing now? Not content with bringing that ominous being up to the Middle Realm, you dare to confront an elder of the sect with it. What nonsense! The heavenly lightning banner has been revered as a sacred artifact of our sect for generations. Don't speak blasphemously. That ominous creature has been revered as a sacred artifact? After the incident 40,000 years ago, how much has the sect fallen? The golden divine heavenly thunder sect is doomed. O ancestor, how could you abandon your descendants? Kugugugugu. Finally, the true form of Wei is revealed before Jin Byako. That's the appearance of Jin Wei, who mastered the Taiji quaking lightning body. With hair both black and white, a withered giant with 2 heads begins to rise above Thundercloud Peak. The black-haired head is oddly decorated with colorful and luxurious makeup, while the white-haired head has drool dripping down, with a beard attached. On the giant's back, 4 ghastly drums are hanging in a circle, each drum painted with the symbols of Lesser Yin, Lesser Yang, Greater Yin, Taiyin, and Greater Yang, Taiyang, representing the 4 symbols. Come, let's see you try, Junior. I hope you can defeat me. If you lose, I will have to engulf all my juniors to avoid disaster, covering the heavens with calamity as I weep tears. The voices of both a man and a woman overlap, causing Jin Byako and the heavenly being stage elders to spit out a mouthful of blood. The legend of the cannibalistic monster who devoured their fellow disciples is true. Despicable. I will punish you right here. Nothing is more unsightly than babbling without knowing what happened. Seeing you reach the 4-axis stage so quickly, your talent seems similar to mine, but I am not the 4-axis you imagine. King. Above the drums adorned with the 4 symbols on the giant's back, characters rise up. Longevity, wealth, health, and earth. Kururum. All the lightning swirling around Thunder Spirit Island begins to converge towards Thundercloud Peak. Above Thundercloud Peak, a thunder god, holding 6 flags of 6 colors and 6 arms, and floating the heavenly lightning banner above his head, emerges. In front of him, a ghastly ghost with 2 heads, black and white, rises, devouring the lightning. The tremendous battle between the 2 entities shakes the heavens and the earth. Kururum. The 2 heavenly being stage elders cast a protective barrier and come out to protect John Myung-hoon. I, from outside the protective barrier, sweat coldly at the aftermath swirling around. Is this the power of Yun Wei in their prime, and Jin Byako wielding the heavenly lightning banner? Jin Byako himself is not so strong that I would lose to him in a fight. However, once he wields the heavenly lightning banner, he displays a ferociously powerful force, as if to upheave the heavens and earth. That power seems almost on par with Gurion, who is at a level just shy of an integration stage demon king. Kururum. Amidst the shaking of the heavens and earth, I gasp at the sight of the 6-color thunder god gradually being pushed back by the 2-headed ghost from afar. What's going on? Yun Wei is pressing Jin Byako. It's exactly as it appears. The ghost with scattered black and white hair devours the lightning and, regurgitating it, presses the attack on the 6-color thunder god. With each reflected attack, the thunder god is pushed back. And just as the skinny 2-headed giant is about to rush at the thunder god, the 6-color thunder god absorbs all 6 flags it holds in its hands and grips the heavenly lightning banner with its 6 arms. The heavenly lightning banner absorbs the surrounding lightning, increasing in size and becoming just the right size for the thunder god to wield. Seeing this, Yun Wei suddenly begins to scream. You madman, what are you trying to do? Stop it. How do you plan to deal with the consequences? Yun Wei's voice booms so loudly across Thunder Spirit Island that the heavenly being stage elders and we all feel the anger in the voice and are terrified. Soon, a curtain of the 4-axis stage formed by lightning envelopes the 2 beings, swallowing them. The 2-headed giant ghost with disheveled hair, Yun Wei, glares at Jin Byako with bloodshot eyes. You've foolishly undone 1 layer of that monster's seal. Such a foolish choice to end an internal strife. Now that you've undone a seal that only the ancestor could set, it's even easier for that monster to bring about calamity. What kind of idiotic thought led you to unlock the seal? In a quieter voice than before, Yun Wei rebukes Jin Byako. However, Jin Byako merely sneers and swings the enlarged heavenly lightning banner. I'm well aware of the seal that the ancestor placed on the heavenly lightning banner. It's a seal that only the heavenly golden thunder body can manage, correct? Yes, you fool. Without the mythical heavenly golden thunder body, restoring the seal is impossible. Your sin is greater than mine, who devoured fellow disciples while weeping blood. It's fine. What? Kururum. The thunder god shouts, swinging the enlarged heavenly lightning banner with its 6 arms. I've already obtained the heavenly golden thunder body. Even if I've undone a layer of the seal, once the heavenly golden thunder body reaches the mid-stage of nascent soul, it can be restored. You've obtained the heavenly golden thunder body. Yun Wei just looks at Jin Byako, dumbfounded, neither dodging nor absorbing the lightning striking them. as if trying to discern the truth in Jin Byaku's words. Therefore I stare at Jin Byaku. After a while, Yunwei is struck directly by the enhanced power of the heavenly lightning banner and turns into ashes. Thus, Yunwei, who had lived for 40,000 years and was on the cusp of becoming a grand cultivator, falls. Only ashes remain on the summit of Thundercloud Peak. Jin Byaku, having released Thunder God transformation, looks at Yunwei's body that is now a giant piece of charcoal leaning on Thundercloud Peak. Any last words? You've obtained the heavenly golden thunder body? Nonsense. Then, what I did 40,000 years ago. For what purpose? For what did my fellow disciples? The strange voice that overlaps male and female voices soon merges into one, transforming into a woman's voice as smooth as jade. After rambling for a while, she lifts one charred neck with a trembling voice. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect will again enjoy fame for thousands of generations. Congratulations. Is that your last word? My sins may be unforgivable, but I cannot allow the heavenly golden thunder body to accumulate the wrong kind of Axis Foundation. So let me teach you about the Orthodox Axis Foundation. Orthodox Axis? Yes. It's a truth I heard from a Black Ghost Valley's ghost cultivator from the Nether Ghost realm during the war 40,000 years ago. Rustle. As the charcoal throat begins to crumble, Yunwei and Jin Byaku exchange a few words amid their brief exchange. Send someone to the Nether Ghost realm. You might learn more. I will do so. I may be the sect's greatest sinner, but at least in the end, I could provide valuable information for the sect. Goodbye. Rustle. Finally, the giant charcoal remains of Yunwei scatter completely, leaving only a woman's body behind. Although entirely turned into charcoal by the lightning, making it impossible to discern its original form, Jin Byaku closes his eyes and bows his head for a moment in respect for Yunwei, a senior of the sect who had died. Rest in peace, Sani Dash. And then, flash. A lump of light flickers from Yunwei's body and flies away at the speed of lightning. As Jin Byaku and the other heavenly being stage elders relaxed their vigilance, the swiftly flying lump of light took advantage of the gap. Watching the lump of light, sparks fly from Jin Byaku's eyes. Damn it. Was it all an act? Quorum. As Jin Byaku swings the heavenly lightning banner, a bolt of lightning strikes the fleeing soul of Yunwei. Though the soul seems to stagger from the lightning strike, it continues flying somewhere without stopping. Jin Byaku eventually gives up chasing it. She must have hidden a body somewhere for resurrection. That kind of speed comes from the resurrection body, pulling it from the opposite side. What should we do, sect leader? If the sect's betrayer, the mad monster, regains her power and appears again. That won't be easy. Her soul was directly hit by the heavenly lightning banner's lightning, so it will take at least 500 years just to recover her vitality. By that time, the heavenly golden thunder body that came to us will surely be able to reach the integration stage. Jin Byaku commands while holding the heavenly lightning banner. Since the greatest force of Thundercloud Pavilion is dead, quickly drive out the rest and stabilize the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. And we must send someone to the Nether Ghost realm, so assemble an exploration team. Also, search throughout Thunder Spirit Island for the descendants of Yunwei. Excluding those who came up this time, arrest and scrutinize all with the Jin surname. The fiend will surely seek to resurrect using one of her descendants. The day the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect set foot in Thunder Spirit Island, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect began to stabilize quickly. Anyway, even though the sect is busy stabilizing, we can't waste your talent. Starting today, I will become your teacher and start teaching you the basics. Jin Y, Trembling Radiance, the current vice sect leader of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect and a grand elder of the Heavenly Being Stage Grand Perfection Stage. It was decided that Jin Y would become my teacher. Originally, John Myung-hoon was supposed to learn the basics with me, but since he needed to be indoctrinated with the culture and etiquette of this world along with Jin Sohei, he will join the training a few days later. I enter the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect's Scripture Pavilion with Jin Y. The Scripture Pavilion, which the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect had uprooted whole from Shattered Heaven Peak, is overwhelmingly vast and extensive, even more so than the Azure Heaven Creation Sect's Scripture Pavilion. The sect's methods are vast, but the most famous are these three. Jin Y takes out 3 method manuals from within the archive. 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture, Taiji Quaking Lightning Body, and Extinguishing Lightning Inner Heavenly Temple. The 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture is the method used by Jin Byaku and John Myung-hoon to transform into a 6-color giant and manipulate 7 colors of lightning. The Taiji Quaking Lighting Body is the method mastered by Yunwei and Yunjin. And the Extinguishing Lightning Inner Heavenly Temple is said to be a method optimized for conducting rituals to the heavens by forming a thunder palace within the body, granting extreme resistance to lightning attribute spells. Choose what you most want to learn. Without hesitation, I answer. I want to learn them all. Chapter 224, Black Snake. 2. You want to learn them all? At my words, Jean Y looks at me with a disbelief for a moment before stroking his beard. Normally, I would have scolded you for being greedy, but for the lighting sacred body, that might be a different story. But what exactly is the sacred lightning body? I ask, something I've been curious about for a while. At that, Jean Y kindly explains. If the heavenly golden thunder body is considered to have the quality of being loved by all lightning, then the sacred lightning body is a physique that is lightning itself. It's said to be a physique where lightning has transformed into a human body. Therefore, there are no restrictions in learning all kinds of lightning methods, and the practice speed of lightning methods is much faster than those with ordinary spiritual roots. Interesting. In fact, all the lightning methods of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect were created to become our founder, the Golden Deity. Jean Y looks at my body, which occasionally sparks with lightning if not controlled, and continues. The heavenly golden thunder body of our ancestor, who aimed to control all the lightning across the 3,000 worlds, and even sought to grasp the heavenly tribulation in his hand. The beginning of our sect aimed to imitate that heavenly golden thunder body. Therefore, all the lightning methods in our text are essentially inferior versions of the heavenly golden thunder body. Jean Y's explanation continues with a self-mocking tone. However, the heavenly golden thunder body is, as the name suggests, a physique out of legends. No matter how much one cultivates lightning methods in a human body, reproducing myths is an absurd idea, but during the revival era of our sect in the ancient times, the sacred lightning body appeared. A legendary constitution indeed, but less fanciful than the heavenly golden thunder body. It became a physique that could serve as a bridge for our sect's lightning methods that aimed to imitate the heavenly golden thunder body. Snap! Jean Y grabs my shoulder and says with a serious look, your innate sacred lightning body is a stepping stone for humans to reach the heavenly golden thunder. When the sacred lightning body appeared in our sect back then, our lightning methods, which were once a secretive method only understood by the direct lineage of our ancestor, became accessible to countless disciples, expanding the influence of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Now that the Heavenly Golden Thunder body and the Sacred Lightning body have entered our sect together, your role is crucial going forward. I will bear that in mind. Originally, I would have discouraged mastering all methods as your master. However, with you and John Myung-hoon joining the sect is bound to grow exponentially. So, I will entrust the future to you and give you my permission. Jean Y hands me 3 books. 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture, Taiji Quaking Lighting Body, Extinguishing Lightning Inner Heavenly Temple. I take the 3 methods and thank Jean Y. Just like how the Azure Heaven Creation sect has rankings from the 5th Cloud Disciple to the 1st Cloud Disciple, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect also has rankings among disciples, and they wear belts indicating their rank. The names of the ranks were taken from the most famous method of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, starting from the 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture. Disciples who had not passed the 7 Stars Ritual are given a belt marked with red lightning, known as Red Lightning Disciples. Those who pass the 7 Stars Ritual are Vermilion Lightning Disciples. Those who reach the extreme in Chi refining are Yellow Lightning Disciples. Red, Vermilion, Yellow. These 3 ranks are collectively referred to as Lower Lightning Disciples, responsible for menial tasks within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Only those from the Chi building stage onwards are considered part of the true force of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Chi building disciples are Green Lightning Disciples. Core formation disciples are Blue Lightning Disciples. Those who show potential to reach the nascent soul stage in core formation are considered Indigo Lightning Disciples and recognized as Upper Lightning Disciples, the future of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Those who reach the nascent soul stage are treated as elders and are grouped as Purple Lightning, receiving purple belts. Furthermore, from the Heavenly Being stage elders, a gold belt marked with Golden Lightning, named after the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, is awarded. Among the few grand elders leading the sect, they receive a white belt marked with Heavenly Lightning. Only 1 or 2 individuals, including the Supreme Sect Master Jean Byuk-ho, wear the belt of Heavenly Lightning. I received a green belt from Jean Y, symbolizing a Chi building disciple. Considering your talent and the dense heaven and earth spiritual energy of the bright cold realm, reaching the Chi building stage should be quick. Hence, your rank will be Green Lightning Disciple for now. Understood. And the 3 methods I gave you are not for you to learn right now. You need to reach at least core formation to attempt those methods. What you will learn next is the Accumulating Lightning Technique, the basic method of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Yes, I take the Accumulating Lightning Technique. With Jean Y's permission, I open the book containing the Accumulating Lightning Technique and also unfold the 7 lightning quaking scripture. Master this accumulating lightning technique. Yes, it's very similar to the early part of the 7 lightning quaking scripture, isn't it? It is. The accumulating lightning technique is almost identical to the early part of the 7 lightning quaking scripture, the red lightning quaking scripture. It's just a slightly simplified version of a few parts of the red lightning quaking scripture, made understandable for chi refining disciples. When I show confusion, Gene Y explains. The 7 lightning quaking scripture was personally created by our ancestor. It's the most crucial method in the 120,000-year history of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. As such, many disciples attempt to master the 7 lightning quaking scripture, and to ensure they don't face difficulties when they later practice the 7 lightning quaking scripture, we modified its initial part to be familiar from the chi refining stage. That is what this accumulating lightning technique is. I see. After spending some time with Gene Y, getting explanations regarding the accumulating lightning technique, the 7 lightning quaking scripture, Taiji quaking lighting body, extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, and receiving a bit more teaching on lightning methods, I return to my assigned cave residence. Wawung. As I have the lightning sacred body, the cave residence where the best spiritual vein of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect flows is given to me, and I enter deeper into the cave residence to inhale spiritual energy. Accumulating lightning technique. I look into the accumulating lightning technique, the foundation of lightning methods. Lightning path methods are among the most difficult to master of all attribute methods. Initially, the lightning attribute is not included in the 5 elements. The lightning path method is not naturally developed from the 5 elements spiritual roots, but only came into existence after the cultivation method system had developed significantly. Thus, there are 2 ways for those born with 5 elements spiritual roots to learn the lightning path method. One either had to be born with wood, attribute spiritual roots, or forcibly cultivate the power of lightning within oneself through the exchange of yin and yang. For those not born with what attribute spiritual roots wanting to learn lightning methods, the exchange of yin and yang is essential. However, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect only finds dual cultivation partners for those who have passed the 7 stars ritual. What does that mean? It means that cultivators in the lower realms who have not passed the 7 stars ritual have to find a way to facilitate the exchange of yin and yang within their own bodies or forcefully draw enlightening power from the outside. How to draw enlightening power from the outside? It's simple. Either consume a large amount of elixirs with lightning properties, undergo lightning torture by seniors, or stand in areas where lightning strikes to be hit by lightning directly. Naturally, all 3 methods require either a significant amount of resources or risking one's life. Therefore, many cultivators of the red lightning rank in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect often chose to pass the 7 stars ritual using basic methods sold externally, like the 5 surpassing paths to cultivation, before engaging in dual cultivation to learn the sect's methods afterward. Of course, I don't need to do that. Is this the accumulating lightning technique? Since I already possess the 5 elements spiritual roots, I can manifest the power of lightning through my wood attribute spiritual root. Wood symbolizes thunder/lightning, or Zhan, in the Bagua, making me sufficiently qualified. Tingling. As I begin to practice the method, a tingling static electricity rises from the tips of my fingers. Wawung. I inhale and immediately form the law transformation dantian. Inside the dantian, yin and yang intertwine, forming the law transformation dantian of the chi gathering stage. Then, let's give it a try. I qualified to enter the chi refining stage. Wawung. I release the colorless glass swords inside my inner core. TSSDSSDSSDS. The cultivation stored in the colorless glass swords through the canvas of myriad forms and connections begin to flood back into me. Shall I practice the lightning path method? I also possess what attributes spiritual roots. I have the method to embody the exchange of yin and yang on my own through demon beast methods. Moreover, through the curse of lightning transformation, lightning power is supplied internally rather than externally. Having repeated the chi refining stage several times, the essentials of the chi refining stage are deeply ingrained. Additionally, the cultivation from the last cycle is also stored through the canvas of myriad forms and connections in the colorless glass swords. Crackle. I absorb the dense spiritual energy inside my cave residence, operating the demon beast methods, the 5 surpassing paths to cultivation, and the accumulating lightning technique simultaneously. Crackle. The lightning of the accumulating lightning technique, which was nothing but a tingling static electricity, amplifies into a visible lightning the moment I begin my cultivation. Crackle. Blue lightning surges and rides above my hands. 72 spirit meridians. In an instant, all 72 spirit meridians are activated. Simultaneously, the yin and yang inside the dantian explodes, and the demon beast method also transforms to correspond to the realm of first star in the chi refining stage, adding a bit more of the accumulating lightning technique's intricacies to the flow of yin and yang of the demon beast method. The energy of the lightning becomes even fiercer. 36 spiritual natures. 36 spiritual natures form all over, and the demon beast method grows just as much. The thickness of the lightning surging from my hands increases even more. 12 earthly branches. 12 types of spiritual waves existing in spiritual energy are caught in my grasp. 10 heavenly stems. 10 changes of spiritual energy guides the spiritual power. 9 palaces, 8 trigrams. I quickly passed the stages of the 9 palaces and the complete 8 trigrams. In an instant, I reached the 6th star of chi refining stage. To proceed to the 7th star of chi refining, it's necessary to align with the celestial energy and auspicious timing. However, the demon beast method inside my body continues to rise, causing yin and yang to collide. As a result, the lightning power of the accumulating lightning technique becomes even fiercer. At some point, the collision of yin and yang reaches its peak. Boom. Pop. My dantian explodes. Not figuratively, but literally. Blood spurts from my lower abdomen and blood gushes from my mouth. Demon beast methods are very simple. It's literally just about repeatedly causing the explosion of yin and yang energy inside the dantian. Then, our demon beast methods, the earth tribe method, any less difficult than the heaven tribe method? Absolutely not. Such is the nature of the demon beast method. If the body cannot endure, it explodes and leads to death. Only the strong survive to become stronger. If the heaven tribe method is about offering rituals to the heavens to permit cultivation, the earth tribe method involves burning oneself. If you survive, you are granted permission by the world. If you die, you are not granted permission. A survival of the fittest approach. Of course. TSSDSSDSSDS. I quickly activate the formless sword, summoning it in the form of threads to quickly seal the wounds with my medical knowledge, regenerating with spiritual energy. The exploded energy of the demon beast method turns into pure life force, aiding in regeneration. I need to explode a few more times. Both heaven tribe and earth tribe methods are always a critical point at the 7th star. While the heaven tribe method requires aligning with the heavenly timing, the earth tribe method, having nothing to do with timing, measures pure luck and physical strength. In some ways, it is arguably more challenging than heaven tribe methods. Boom, 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 pop, pop, pop. Only after my lower abdomen burst open several times was I barely able to surpass the chi refining 7th star. Phew. The demon beast method doesn't need auspicious timing. But if I had practiced the demon beast method during my chi refining days, could I have easily passed the 7th star? I probably would have died without properly responding to the explosion. Of course, it's good to know that if you get the hang of it, you can surpass the chi refining 7th star without any rituals. I'll perform the ritual for the heaven tribe method later. Boom, boom, boom. I continue to operate the demon beast method, regaining my cultivation. TSSDSSDSSDSS. The Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, which I modified through the vast cold formula into a demon beast method, gradually emits blue light, dyeing my body. Boom. Finally, I instantly recover to the peak stage of chi refining. Wawoom. What was once my inner core has now become a demon core, swollen with pure life force. Wawoom. I explode the demon core again, raising my state to just before entering the chi building stage. After cleaning up my bloodstained clothes and changing, I head outside. The various locations of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect are in the process of replacing the buildings used previously at Thundercloud Peak, mounting the halls of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect brought up from the lower realm onto various mountain peaks. Now, connecting these halls to the spiritual veins flowing through the mountain peaks and activating the sect's grand array formation will finally complete the proper establishment of the sect. I quickly use the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to hide my presence and then fly to a secluded area of Thunder Spirit Island using the Formless Sword. Previously, I had been afraid to use the Formless Sword because the administrator of Sky Island is watching. However, after having a conversation with Jangik in the Astral Realm and discussing the integration stage Grand Cultivator Y Rangxian, who monitors the human territory everywhere within the Human Race Grand Alliance, I learned that Y Rangxian's detection ability is not absolute. Instead, using my record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I would definitely not be detected by him. That's why, when I snuck into Thunder Spirit Island to steal the Heavenly Lightning Banner during my 15th cycle, using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, Y Rangxian couldn't detect me. After finding a suitable mountain peak on Thunder Spirit Island, I absorbed the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword and the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy. Kagugugu. Instantly, the sky wavers and dark clouds gather around. Kurung. The demon core operates the spiritual energy as if it's going to explode. Break it. How does the demon race ascend to the chi building stage? By devouring a massive amount of spiritual energy and then exploding it all at once within the demon core. Naturally, an explosion strong enough to shatter the demon core occurs. From there, if the shattered demon core is reconstituted, activating all of the spiritual meridians throughout the body and firmly connecting them to the demon core, one ascends to the chi building stage. If it fails, the demon beast loses all their cultivation and turns into a regular beast. Quang. Without hesitation, I shatter the demon core. The spiritual power forming the demon core disperses throughout my blood vessels, circulating inside arteries and veins, red and blue, aligning the cycle of yin and yang. Yin in the veins, yang in the arteries. And all the yin and yang energies meet again in the heart, that is, the middle dantian. Kagugugu. My heart swells as if it's about to burst, and just before it explodes, I send all the energy gathered in the middle dantian down to the lower dantian. Gather the energy, condense it. Tist, tsstsstssts. The flow of yin and yang intertwines again in the lower dantian, beginning to form a solid demon core. Simultaneously, my internal energy, which had been somewhat confused with spiritual power, transforms into definite demonic power, enriching my body with vitality. Wawung. Yin and yang energies extending from the demon core circulate through the arteries and veins in my body, gathering in the heart, and the demonic power of primordial chaos collected in the heart returns to the demon core. The core fully connects with the flesh. This energy, a fusion of spiritual energy and life force, is precisely demonic power. At the same time, a streak of blue lightning from the sky flies towards me. Under normal circumstances, I would have cut the blue lightning with the formless sword. However, I operate the accumulating lightning technique and open all the pores in my body towards the sky. Absorb. Crackle. A tremendous amount of lightning power accumulates in the dantian. I cannot directly convert it into spiritual power without passing the 7 stars ritual, but I can hold it with the accumulating lightning technique. Once I pass the 7 stars ritual, this immense power of tribulation lightning can be immediately converted into cultivation, and the Heaven Tribe method can also be swiftly elevated to the peak chi refining stage. It's not over yet. Further on. Kurung. Yin and yang continue to collide. My realm, which had reached the early stages of chi building, consumes the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword and once again reaches grand perfection of chi building. Explode. Quang. The explosion of ascending to the core formation stage is incomparable to the explosion of ascending to chi building. Ascending to chi building merely requires shattering the demon core, but ascending to core formation demands a much more powerful explosion. While losing the demon core in chi building merely results in losing cultivation and reverting to a beast, exploding the demon core when reaching core formation will likely result in fatal injuries, such that even if one reverts to a beast, they live with disabilities. Wawung. However, I create a gang sphere inside the demon core again and reform my inner core. The inner core, situated at the center of the demon core, will help mitigate the explosive force. Go. The blue light of the azure spirit striking origin technique, the starlight of the starlight protecting void body, and the multicolored light of the 5 elements enduring origin scripture shine within the demon core. Boom. A gush of blood flows from my mouth. But it's done. I can handle this level of shock. The exploded demon core sweeps through the blood vessels again. Yin and yang energies, divided into veins and arteries, gather in the heart. But when reaching core formation, it does not go down to the lower dantian. Rise. Tist, tsstsstssts. The tremendous demonic power gathered in the heart heads towards the upper dantian. Thus, by fully activating the upper dantian, spiritual meridians are generated in every part of the upper, middle, and lower dantians of the demon race. And again, when demonic power is instilled in the upper dantian, the energy is sent back down to the lower dantian. In this way, the upper, middle, and lower dantians are tightly interconnected, resulting in a much stronger and more robust demon core than before. This is the demon race's core formation stage. Kururung. Once again, I reach out my hand towards the heavenly lightning flying towards me. I want to absorb it with the accumulating lightning technique, but I have already exceeded the limit of what can be absorbed with it. Licking my lips, I split the heavenly lightning. Then, for the last time, Quang. Even in the core formation stage, I do not stop and continue to absorb the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword. Quang. And finally, at a certain moment, TSSDSSDSSDS, my consciousness begins to compress into a form identical to myself. The compressed consciousness enters my body and begins to settle inside the demon core. Inside the dark clouds, along with the blue lightning, golden lightning wriggles. Kururu. Dual-colored heavenly lightning strikes down. Quajajijic. Unfazed, I stand up while covered with the formless sword, receiving the lightning. Since I am still using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, there is no worry of being detected. Wawoom. After experiencing a rapid flashback, a baby-shaped consciousness and a conglomerate of demonic power inside my body, a nascent soul is born, and I open my eyes and look up at the sky. Pete. Thwack. Then, as I leap towards the sky, my body cuts through the dual-colored lightning and pierces the dark clouds to reach above them. Phew. Around me, 3,000 colorless glass swords follow me up. The power of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, modified into a Demon Beast Method, swirls beneath me like yin and yang. Wawoom. I retract the colorless glass swords back into the demon core and smile. Nascent soul staged, recovered. How many times have I repeated the process of recovering my cultivation? Now, in the case of the Earth Tribe method, which requires only the sacrifice of the body without any procedure. As long as I have the canvas of myriad forms and connections and the colorless glass swords to store cultivation, I can always recover my realm. In this life, I will definitely reach the heavenly being stage. One day into joining the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, I reaffirm my goal after recovering to the nascent soul stage.